Being in Venice, Italy is so amazing. We got to hang out with European poker players. Got to eat gelato. My favorite thing about Venice is the gondola ride, because you get to see the things that you can't see while you're walking around. Enjoy the culture out there. It's very bellissima.
We're here at the Casino di Venezia, having a great time. Three-handed poker. WPT title at stake tonight. Own Hall of Famer Mike Sexton with a chance tonight of taking down his first WPT title, but he's on the short stack with close to 900,000. Let's go to the felt that's on Mike, and he's got a big hand here, Phil.
Yes, he does, but I want to say, if this were a fight, they would have stopped it. Rocco's bludgeoning these guys. He's just killing him. He's like in the ring. He's like just landing jab, 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 jab. These guys are bleeding right now. But here, Mike has a spot to basically get himself right back into the tournament.
Yep.
And Mike has a pair of boxing gloves. He can fight, and he'll start sparring with you. Well, if you don't keep hitting a 10 on him, that is.
Unbelievable. Rocco hitting 10s, out-flopping Sexton. They both check. Good slowdown by Mike.
Well, the impressive thing is that, you know, Mike has checked the flop here with ace-king.
7 on the turn. Oh, boy.
And he went with his instincts. I mean, it was folded so quickly,
Yeah.
it just said, you know what, I know he has it. And so that was pretty impressive.
It looked like that was in your zone. I don't know if it was.
He was exactly 100% right, and it was impressive that he lost so little with ace-king versus king-10.
I really love playing poker because it's really a skill game in the long run. Everybody sees me as a tight guy, and I do tricky things sometimes. All in. Having a WPT title will be like a dream, you know, and I would love to go for it.
Well, he's only 24 years old, a former accountant. Rocco Palumbo just taking charge here tonight, Phil.
It's impressive. I mean, we know that he's caught a few breaks, and he's pushed the envelope, and they're letting him push the envelope. And so I was hoping that, you know, Sexton would make a few more re-raises in some of these spots. Even there with deuce 3 offsuit, why not just go ahead and re-raise? Because I think Mike knows how aggressively Rocco's playing. He's the one guy that knows what's going on. I mean, he's seen the whole cards, he's seen the type. So Mike's best defense is 3-betting, and I don't know, he just hasn't done that enough so far today.
Rocco pushing again, catches 10s on the flop as a king-10 deuce lands. And Marcello with a 7-4 nothing.
Airball, baby.
He's gonna come out and bet.
He has an airball, no pair, no draw, nothing.
Nicely done by the hardware store man. However, he's been called, and that's gotta hurt. The Jack of Hearts on the turn. Now he has a 4 flush, though.
Now he actually picked up a draw. Okay, 80,000 to 310 is not enough to get rid of Rocco. He has to call 80 here. I'm sure he's going to call. It just seems like an easy call. The Jack is a little bit threatening because a straight draw, which makes sense, and it was in Marcello's range, just hit. Like, for example, if you had Jack 9, you hit a Jack, or Queen 9, you hit a straight, or Queen Jack, you hit a Jack.
But no, Rocco's going to respect it and lay the hand down.
Wow, for 80,000 to win. Wow, 400,000. I'm really surprised. I would really like to have seen him make a call for 80.
Marcello, nicely done by the hardware store man, takes the pot by a nice bet.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more World Poker Tour.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
Can I have a cold glass of champagne, please? Venice is known for black magic. Today, I'm going to bring some white magic. Thank you.
Cheers. Good luck.
Vince, who is that idiot?
Man, were you always shy as a kid, or just to break out of your shell? When did it happen? How do you become that? Now, you are interesting. You are good for the game.
Well, thanks. And by the way, back to the poker. Rocco is putting on an incredibly dominating performance. This could be a classical dominating performance. It's also, everything he's done has worked perfectly, too. So there's obviously some luck involved, but he has a chance to turn this into a classic win.
We're here with Phil Hellmuth. Mike Sexton's at the final table. Rocco Palumbo, 2.9 million. Marcello with 1.5. He's a non-professional that works in a hardware store. Great effort by him. And Mike Sexton down to 685.
Don't worry, Vince. I'm getting ready to make my move. My streak is coming.
Let's see if Mike can come back. Actions on Marcello, a quick fold by him. And now Rocco has picked up a king 10. The former accountant is going to raise, makes it 65,000 to go. And Mike Sexton with a king
65.
8. Seems interested. But look at this, Phil.
That's it, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. 3-bet, 3-bet, 3-bet. These guys, they've watched you play tight for 3 days.
530.
You can take advantage of that reputation. How can Rocco call? Rocco has a decent hand with a lot of chips. He even suspects something's wrong. What can he do?
Finally.
Come on, show me the bluff one time.
Huh?
Show me the bluff one time.
How can I show you the bluff?
Well, this side is a bluff. Something.
Yeah.
Mike Sexton will never show a hand
I'll show you the bluff.
that hasn't been called. I've learned that from him for 11 years, being with him on the World Poker Tour. He stays true to the word.
Rocco said ace size a bluff. When you have a guy that, Rocco, is he serious? Like he's really working. He's really working his corner. He's like a puncher. You know, I mean, the guy's raised like 70% of the hands. I mean, if Mike raised him with jack high, it's not a bluff, for God's sakes. I mean, you know, come on.
Sometime I have to win a pot off you.
Being in Italy, it's apparent that poker is truly a global sport. As players around the world gravitate to the game, the fields have become increasingly more competitive, and it takes a lot to stand out. But one young lady has both the poise and pedigree to make it big, as we see in this edition of Ones to Watch.
My name is Xuan Liu, and I'm from Toronto, Canada.
It's pretty cool being one of the ones to watch.
Xuan Liu. I mean, she is a powerful little poker player.
She is coming on hard, man.
I feel like she is dangerous.
Xuan Liu is definitely one of the truly mathematically smart players out there.
I think a part of my strength as a poker player is the fact that I'm not that emotional at the tables. I'm very good at reading people and playing up my table image. My poker game has improved a lot over the years.
She has an incredible group of friends around her, some of the best players in the world, like WPT champion Scott Seaver and Vanessa Selfs, all the superheroes, you know?
I've always been very interested in poker since I was really young. I was born in Tianjin, China, and moved to Toronto when I was 5 years old. Toronto is now my home, but I'm very proud of my roots. I started playing poker with play money by myself. I think I was about 7 years old, but didn't start playing for real money until college. I went to the University of Waterloo.
Waterloo is huge. Waterloo has so many poker players coming out of it, it's absurd.
The town of Waterloo. That's probably the most successful city in poker in general.
There's got to be something in the water in Waterloo. I mean, it's a poker hotbed.
The home of all the brilliant Canada poker minds.
There's a ton of Waterloo graduates that have won WPT titles, like Michael Watson, Steve Paul Ambrose, Minad Medic.
Should I enroll? Should I go to that college? Maybe I too can win a title. I'm willing to do anything. Waterloo, here I come.
It would be a dream come true to join the ranks of Waterloo grads who have gone on to win WPT titles. The future looks really bright.
Very impressive. Phil, have you played against her?
I have at the World Series of Poker in the Stud 8 or Better tournament last year. I played with her in a few other events, and I got to tell you, she played really well, and Ted Forrest said, "This girl's a killer," which is a big compliment for him.
All right, well, Mike Sexton on the ropes here, circling the drain. Can he come back? Mike this time with a Jack-9 of hearts with the button. And he's going to pop it up, makes it 60,000 to go.
Marcello cannot re-raise him with an ace-7. And Rocco cannot re-raise him with ace-3. They've been re-raising each other. This is how much they respect Mike. That's why he could be doing a lot more bluffing earlier.
Oh, Mike, you're going to like that flop. Jack 7-6, you picked up jacks.
But his patience is going to pay off because Marcello is not going to get away from this hand. Marcello has been leaking major oil, and now he's going to give all the chips to Mike, and Mike's going to be right back in there. If he has top pair in a spot where Marcello, who's on mega tilt, could never in a billion years fold ace-7.
Well, Mike's going to do the right thing. He's betting at 150. Marcello has a piece of that pair of sevens, though, and he's going to call it.
Yeah, but at this point, Mike is now going to be all in no matter what comes off.
Mike with a big chance here.
He really doesn't want to see a club right now, Mike.
Or an ace. Oh, man. Aces and sevens for Marcello, and he's going to check it into Mike. Oh, boy.
Look at that. And Mike is really, in his mind, he's like, okay, the ace could not have hit him unless he has exactly ace-6 or ace-7. A club draw, Marcello would have probably moved in.
I'm all in.
Oh,
so
man.
Mike has to move in.
Oh, boy. Mike's gone all in, and he's been called.
Here you go. Yes, you hit an ace.
And then some aces and sevens. Sexton in tremendously bad shape.
Marcello's leaking oil all over the track. Mike hit the oil and went smashed into the wall.
Need a miracle.
He has 2 jacks left in the deck. That's 2 outs. So basically, he's a 20-1 underdog to hit it. That's really bad. Really unlucky ace for him there on the turn.
Mike Sexton's chance of becoming a WPT champion coming down to this card.
He gave himself such a great chance, Mike did. I mean, that's the virtue of being patient.
5 of spades on the river.
Mike is out. Now, Mike has been extraordinarily unlucky in this spot because Marcello, who has an outdraw on Rocco, one time hops in there on one of the 3 or 4 that Mike plays and outdraws him in that hand. And, you know, very unlucky spot for Mike.
What are you going to do? Mike Sexton, our Mike Sexton, Hall of Famer, out in 3rd place in Venice. Going to take home 54,000 euros. Let's go see what Mike has to say.
Well, it's always frustrating when you go out at whatever position, whether it's on day 1, day 2, day 3, or the final table if you don't win. So, you know, only one guy can win the tournaments. Just wasn't in the cards for me today, I guess, and maybe I could have played him a little better. Who knows, but it just wasn't my day to win. But, you know, I came to the final table in 3rd chip position. That's where I went out, so pretty standard, I guess.
Sad to see Mike Sexton out in 3rd place, but Mike, we are all so proud of you. All right, I'm getting word that Mike is actually heading back to the booth to call the action, and we'd like to thank Phil Hellmuth for sitting in. But right now, it has come down to Rocco Palumbo and Marcello Montagnier to battle for the WPT Venice Grand Prix title and a coveted spot on the WPT Champions Cup. Heads-up action will begin shortly. Stay tuned.
Pleasure.
Hope you didn't laugh too hard at me.
No laughter at all.
All right. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
laughter at
Thank
all.
you.
It wasn't much
All
you
right.
could do, honestly.
The legendary Phil Hellmuth filled in for me today. We appreciate that.
All right, brother.
I don't have to worry about him taking my job because I know with this pay, he's never going to take the job.
Social poker sites aren't real poker because there's nothing to win. They're just all-in fests. That's why we play real poker on ClubWPT.com, where we can win our share of 100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money that could have been mine.
Out come Jeannie and Danielle with the cash. They are the Royal Flush Girls. They shake hands.
Champagne for the players. Bring me a double, please.
Oh, yes. Tuba delivering the champagne here in Venice, Italy.
Look at that, Vince. They're toasting. They just broke me.
We have Marcello Montagnier, works in a hardware store, non-professional, going up against Rocco Palumbo, a World Series bracelet winner for the championship here tonight. Who will take this title?
Heads-up play at the WPT Venice Grand Prix is about to get started between Rocco Palumbo and Marcello Montagnier. During the break, we caught up with Rocco.
Well, I'm trying not to think that much. I mean, it's been a great final table and I'm running pretty good, so I'm trying to think just playing and not focus too much on the prizes and just play my best.
Who will emerge triumphant in Venice and add their name to the WPT Champions Cup? Heads-up action from the Casino di Venezia is about to get started, so let's get back to the call of the game with Mike and Vince.
I'm back with my friend Mike Sexton. He's got knocked out.
Phil Hellman's taking his wife out for an anniversary dinner. You're stuck with me for your date. I'm a pouting, miserable date right now, Vince. I'll try not to behave too badly, but I'm still frustrated I'm not sitting down there playing heads up for this title, but I guess you can't complain when you make some money in any tournament, you know?
You did very well. We're very proud of you. Let's get back to this action. Heads up action between two Italian players. Rocco there, very aggressive tonight, has 3 million. And of course, Marcello, he's got about 2 million. Here we go.
Well, Vince, certainly from the eyeball test, at least from my sitting at the table watching these guys play, it seemed to me that Rocco is the much better player.
Well, he is more aggressive, that's for sure. And the blinds are 15 and 30, and Rocco has raised with a king deuce. And Marcello with a queen 10 of clubs, just calling. And now we're going to see our first flop, the heads-up action. And a queen just like that, 9-6. Queens for Marcello.
Yep, great flop for Marcello.
He's going to check it. Let's see if Rocco makes the continuation. Of course he does. 70,000, Mike.
70.
Quick call by Marcello. No check raise.
Yeah, a little surprising he didn't check raise with top pair.
Playing unorthodox here tonight, and here comes the turn card.
Oh, a 10 comes off. Top 2 pair now for Marcello, but he checks here. Vince, I would think Rocco would check right behind him. It's just too scary a board. Couple straight possibilities out there. All those middle cards. It's the kind of hand you put a guy on who doesn't re-raise you before the flop, but it's just not Rocco's style to check. He bets out with a gut shot straight draw.
Yeah, 130,000. It's because he's been doing this all night and winning, and this time he's going to be on the other side of it. As Marcello, hardware store man, is going to raise. Like he should, makes it 260 to go. And I think Rocco might get the hint now.
I know Rocco's aggressiveness has certainly paid off for him tonight. No doubt about it.
And there you see a concerned look in the eye of Rocco for like the first time at this final table, Vince. First hit he's taken in a long time at this final table, but Marcello getting on the board.
Yeah, nicely done. There's the WPT Champions Cup. Everybody wants their name on that. But Rocco now, will that be the turning point? We will see. 2.8 versus Marcello's 2.3.
Well, here Rocco looks down at the worst 2 cards you could start with in a heads-up battle. A 3-deuce offsuit.
Makes a raise, goes to 60,000 with that mess. And Marcello with a queen 10, just calling.
Yeah, playing heads up, this hand is ranked worse than a 7-deuce offsuit and hold'em. Doesn't stop Rocco. King Jack 5 with 2 clubs. Pretty good flop for Marcello. He's got an open-end straight draw.
But he checks it. Rocco with a strong 3 high is betting it 70,000.
Vince, when I see all this, I wish I was back down there playing again. I'd have played a lot more aggressive against this guy, I can tell you.
Quick call, of course, by Marcello.
I knew he was at it, but I just didn't really know. Now I do.
It's a 4. That actually gives Rocco now an open-ended straight draw. Marcello also with a higher open-ended. Well, Marcello checks again, and Rocco. This guy just doesn't know what it's like to slow down.
No. Vince has got the kind of hand that many players would just easily check on the turn. Happy to have a draw.
Well, it's 130,000. Marcello will make this call. We got a nice pot going on.
He's not giving up.
Take a look at the river card. Which one of them will get lucky? How about neither? 7 of diamonds.
Well, Marcello has the best hand. He's checked it. And if Rocco fires at this pot, he's liable to win it. But the guy called you raised before the flop, called the bet on the flop, the bet on the turn. Can you fire yet another shell? Rocco knows it's the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it on the river.
Oh, boy, and the former accountant does so. He's betting 200,000.
He has fired 3 barrels at this pot, Vince, with just a 3 high and going to take down the pot. And maybe that's why the guy's got all the chips here tonight. I haven't seen his cards earlier, but all I know is he bet at every pot, it seemed like.
That was the beast that was on your right. Now you see why you're pushed out of this thing.
I do.
Well, this is great heads-up action we got right now between 2 Italians. They're both tough. They're having a good time. But there was someone else that had a good time this week, and that's a man named Socrates. He plays on ClubWPT.com. And did he enjoy himself?
Everybody at my table played with the guy on day one. This guy and some others said he's more fun than anybody here.
He was such fun, so entertaining.
Who cares if I win or not?
And he loves ClubWPT.com, and why wouldn't you?
You have a chance to make thousands, but not a chance to lose it. So it's a great concept.
This guy won his entry and trip over to Venice, Italy by playing on ClubWPT.com. You can play all the online poker you want, win your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month, and win entries in the WPT event.
We're so proud of you. You made it far. And we had fun with you, too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Just for a small monthly fee, you get all the treatment and all the fun and watch the tapes and get the magazine. Go to ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. All right, back to the table we go.
Well, Rocco, about where he started this heads-up battle, 3 million to 2 million.
Blinds are 15 and 30,000. And action's gonna be on Marcello this time. Non-professional player, only been playing 4 years. Used to watch the World Poker Tour and learn, he said. What a chance of a lifetime here tonight. With a 9-8, just calling. Rocco not gonna get aggressive with a 6-5. So we are seeing a cheap flop. Flop is a king 6-7. So Marcello with an open-ended straight draw. Rocco with a piece of that pair of 6s. Rocco's checked. Marcello's betting 75.
Well, Rocco's got bottom pair here, as you can see. Going to make the call with it.
Certainly is. Turn card is an 8 of diamonds.
Well, this gives Rocco an open-ended straight draw as well, but as you can see, the way the cards lie, Marcello now has best hand and best draw. Rocco checks, and quickly, Marcello reaching for chips. 110,000. Now Marcello, who really hasn't made a lot of moves here, at least it didn't appear like at this table. He made a lot of calls.
Rocco's going to make this call, though.
Well, indeed he is.
Down to the river we go. And a 4 that gives Rocco a straight.
Incredible. Now look at this. Marcello betting out of turn here, 100,000.
Yes, he certainly is. He bet out of turn.
No.
Well,
Okay,
he says, okay, he says, okay, I'll take it back.
Nope,
That's
it
not
has
the
to stay
case.
in there right now.
Well, it depends. If Rocco checks, that bet stands.
Yep.
But if he bets out, then Marcello has an opportunity to take the bet back and not put anything in the pot. So obviously, Rocco, who's made a straight on the river, should check here.
Yeah, they're getting some free money for sure.
But he's betting 400,000 here, Vince. This gives Marcello a chance to get out and save that 100,000
Yeah,
even.
this is a definite bad move here by Rocco. He's made a major mistake here.
Now the tournament director now says you get an opportunity to take that back because he bet.
Marcello grabbed those pinks pretty quickly, too.
He sure did.
He's only got 8s.
He's got 2
400,000. You can take your money back. You feel like you got a bargain, perhaps. Or do you want to stick it in there, saying, what is this guy betting for if he has something? If he has a 5.
That's exactly right.
But look at this. He's going to lay it down.
Well, he lays it down, and Rocco has played great all night long, but in my view, that's a mistake. I would check, let the guy bet the 100,000, and then raise him with my straight, where you're guaranteed to make at least 100,000 there.
It was a real pleasure playing with all of you.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're at the Casino di Venezia. Heads-up action continues. As you can see, the winner is going to take home 140,000 euros. I'm with Mike Sexton, who finished third here. What an effort. But we're down to these two right now.
Well, Rocco with well over a 2-to-1 chip lead now. Marcello picking up a decent hand here. King Jack of clubs, going to raise it up to 80,000.
Yes, and Rocco Palumba with a Jack 9. He has been dominating all night long, everyone at the table, and he's going to speculate with his Jack 9.
He makes hands when he needs to, and he steals them when he needs to. So why not play every pot?
All right, the flop comes up King 8-5. That's good for Marcello, hitting his kings.
Yep, great flop for Marcello.
Nothing happening for Rocco, but look at what is he doing here?
Wow, he's leading right out into the pre-flop razor. This is something you don't see very often at all. And I'm certain Marcello feels like he's got the best hand with the 2 kings. Marcello just going to call him, though.
Yeah, with a big flop and a very solid kicker. Queen on the turn.
Rocco has a gut shot straight draw now, but obviously must catch a 10 to win this pot. It's the only card he can win with.
He's continuing to bet 175,000 this time.
You just think the guy would have check raised with a flush draw. Certainly if he'd have flopped 2 pair. But Marcello still not raising, just calling with the 2 kings.
Very interesting. Down to the river we go.
Now the 5 of hearts comes off, so the board pairs and a possible flush is out there.
And now Rocco finally slowing down.
Now Marcello finally going to bet top pair here.
Yep, 200,000. Rocco with just Jack high. He's just throwing up the white flag, perhaps.
Just the look on his face says he's not going to raise it. But you think he's contemplating a call here? Thinking his opponent might have a straight draw? I mean, that's the only hand he can beat.
Well, I think he's going to lay it down. He's just taking a lot of time here.
Well, why are you posturing? Just throw it away if the guy bets.
They are Italian, Mike. They're dramatic. They take their time. They're passionate. They take it personally, their cards. But he's a former account.
Wow, he called him.
Call.
He has to put him on specifically a 6-7 to make that call.
And look at this semi-slow roll here. As Marcello throws up the king. Oh, man.
Well, Rocco laughs, but very puzzling. Must have put him on exactly a straight draw, Vince. There's no other hand he could call there in that spot.
Yeah.
Very strangely played hand there.
Bad evaluation.
No matter where the game is played or what language is spoken at the table, one thing is certain. Our own Tony Dunst will definitely have an opinion on the play. So right now, let's hear what Tony thinks in this edition of the Raw Deal.
There's nothing that knocks the wind out of an opponent like catching him in a bluff, especially when making a miraculous hero call. Sure, bluffing is flashy, but hero calls are even flashier. It feels fantastic to turn over a terrible hand you knew was good all along. And while there's genuine value and joy in derailing your opponent's confidence by making a hero call, there are times when it's just spewing. Let's break it down. Rocco Palumbo has built a 2-to-1 chip lead over Marcello Montanier through aggressive and thoughtful play. And it's with that lead that he called a min raise to 80,000 in the big blind, holding Jack 9 offsuit. The flop comes King 8-5 with a heart flush draw, and Rocco leads out as a bluff, likely with the intention of continuing that bluff if the turn improves one of his backdoor draws. Marcello naturally calls with his top pair, and with the Queen of Spades on the turn, Rocco's equity in the hand improves with a gut shot straight draw, so he fires a second barrel. Of course, Marcello is going nowhere with his top pair and makes the call. The river brings the 5 of hearts, completing the flop flush draw. I anticipated Rocco firing the third barrel, but when he checked, I assumed he was giving up on the hand. After all, the most obvious draw got there, and the board paired. Marcello goes for value by betting 200,000 into 720, and when Rocco went into the tank, I began wondering what was taking so long. When he placed the 200,000 out there to call, I was stunned. I mean, what hand does Rocco think Marcello is holding? The only hands he beats are busted straight draws like 7-6 and 9-7. And most players with those hands would usually bet larger on the river because they want to fold. So while I appreciate Rocco's desire to make a soul-crushing hero call, it was obvious this was not the hand to attempt it. A true hero knows when to let one go. Otherwise, the only thing he'll crush is his own stack.
Well, Tony, you're on it once again. And these two guys are going after title. Which one will take it down? 140,000 euros, that's about 180,000 US cash. Not too bad. And to the felt we go. Rocco this time with a Jack-8. He's going to raise, makes it 80,000 to go.
Well, that's, I guess, maybe one of the times to make a hero call, as we say, is when you got the big chip lead and everything's going well for you. But
yeah,
that one backfired on Rocco. Let's see if it'll cost him.
Certainly does. Marcello this time has a pair of 9s. Wakes up with a real hand, a wired pair. And he's going to re-raise, makes it 170 to go.
Well, Rocco just got burned with a Jack-9 offsuit. He could get burned again with a Jack-8 offsuit here. He plays this pot.
90,000 in addition, and he's got 3.7, so he can afford to speculate.
Well, I'm not sure you want to give away chips with this kind of hand, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, an 8, Jack-8, 2 pair for Rocco.
Oh, buckle up, folks. We're going to see some fireworks here. Marcello's got a pair and an open-end straight draw. Rocco, as you can see, is flopped top and bottom pair. How lucky is this guy?
Wow, Marcello coming out swinging like he should. 180 with the open-ended, with the pair.
Rocco's definitely going to raise here, Vince. If your opponent's got king, queen, or ace, queen, or ace, king, you just can't give him a free card here.
That is right. And he does raise, makes it 480 in total.
Now, if you're Marcello, you've got 2 9s and open in straight draw. Do you want to ship it all and get it all in here? Maybe your opponent's got king, queen.
No, he's just going to call it.
Maybe thinking if a baby card comes off and the guy fires again, I can get away from this hand.
This is a very big pot.
Well, he's got over 800,000 left, but let's see what happens.
Rocco, the former accountant, in a good place, and a 4 of diamonds makes it even better.
Wow, now Marcello's going all in. A snap call there by Rocco. Just surprised if Marcello was going to make that play, just wouldn't have got it all in on the flop.
Though it wouldn't have helped any because we know how strong Rocco was. So they turn up the cards.
Well, Marcello not dead. He's got 10 outs, as we say. He wins the pot. He makes a straight. A 7 or a queen would give him a straight. He also wins with a 9. If the cards lie, Rocco about a 3-1 favorite to win this tournament right here.
Rocco Palumbo 1 card away from becoming a WPT champion. Here we go to the river. We're going to burn and turn. Let's see it.
It's a 3. There it is. Rocco Palumbo has done it.
He certainly has. Rocco Palumbo will take home 140,000 euros. He's the WPT champion, Mike.
And a deserving champion, Vince.
But before we talk to our champion, let's talk to our runner-up, Marcello.
Sono molto soddisfatto lo stesso, un secondo posto comunque a un WPT penso che sia importante. È che non riesco mai a arrivare primo. Ho fatto sempre secondo, però va bene, dai. Sarà per la prossima volta magari. Si spera.
Well, we're with the Venice Grand Prix champion, Rocco Palumbo. Rocco, congratulations, first of all. But let me ask you about your aggressiveness at the final table. I was part of the terror that you reigned on this table. Was that your plan of attack from the get-go?
Well, not. I just got chips and, I played the game. And I always had the nuts, like I was.
And what does it feel like to be a WPT champion and get your name engraved on the WPT Champions Cup with the legends of the World Poker Tour?
It's definitely an honor, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, congratulations to you and to Italy for taking down this title. One more time, let's hear it for our champion. Kimberly, back to you.
What a remarkable performance, and congratulations to Rocco Palumbo, the Season 11 WPT Venice Grand Prix champion. Please join us next time when we travel to the Sunshine State for the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Phil Hellmuth, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Kimberly Lansing saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight in South Florida, the Poker Sharks are devouring their own in a fight to be the best. Season 11's coverage of the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown starts now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hollywood, Florida, and the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. I'm Amanda Leatherman, sitting in for Kimberly Lansing. This tournament has built a reputation for surprising results. Just last season, we saw Tommy Vedes achieve the rare feat of starting the final table in 6th place and fight to eventually win this title. Poker in South Florida always attracts an exciting mix of established pros, hot up-and-coming players, and hopeful amateurs, as we saw when this tournament started just 5 days ago.
On behalf of everyone at the World Poker Tour, allow me to welcome you to the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. We want to thank the players for your support and participation and wish all of you the very best of luck in your quest to make it to the final table. Let's shovel up and deal.
With play underway, Mike Sexton hit the floor to check out the competition. First, he found some of this season's WPT champions.
Matt Salzberg. Good start here in Florida. Hey, feeling, Ben? Pretty good?
Feeling pretty good, Mike.
All right, well, that was a pretty good move right there, so looks like you're off to a pretty good start here.
I just did it for the cameras.
Then it was on to the WPT Players of the Year.
Guys keep going all in at this table. I keep folding, so it's going to be tough.
So we're here with Joseph Rock, the reigning WPT Player of the Year. Joe, you look calm, relaxed. You got a few chips already here. Nice down here in Florida, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to play poker and then enjoy outside.
And enjoying the outside is exactly what the Royal Flush girls had in mind as they snuck out for a quick dip in the Seminole Hard Rock pool. Meanwhile, back inside, Mike was catching up with a few more high-profile players.
Talking to Sean Deep here, once to watch on the World Poker Tour. Most noted for the open-faced Chinese poker superstar this guy is. He's always looking for games, so if you like it, contact this guy. He'll play you.
Really easy to play.
We're Jeff Matson, probably the best rapper in the poker world. Jeff, you made a final table earlier this season. You're back down in Florida trying to make another one, I see.
I am, yes.
I'm Mike Sexton. On here with Noah.
Mike Sexton.
Or you hater shorts. Right here amongst all these WPT champions, two-time champ Eric Lindgren, newest champ Noah Schwartz.
Hey, golf champ Mike Sexton.
Hear that?
He can beat anybody with the worst swing in golf, I'll tell you what.
Anybody but him. He's too tough, it's a too far.
Eric also seems to easily hit the green in poker as well. With one player all in and a flop of 7-3 deuce, Eric checks to Noah, who bets. Eric calls, turn comes ace, Eric checks again.
All in.
Noah shoves all in. Eric insta-calls and reveals he flopped a set of 7s against Noah's pocket kings. No help on the river, and Eric doubles up.
Getting your name on that trophy right there.
The Seminole Hard Rock Showdown gave players who busted on day 1A a second chance. They could pony up another $5,000 and re-enter on day 1B. And for a lot of the pros, the decision to re-enter was automatic.
Tried today, didn't work out, so give it another try tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm just taking a break for the main. Just take a little break, maybe play tomorrow.
Well, my only goal today was to not have to spend $10K on this tournament, and I couldn't pull it off. So.
I was about to just go and chill out, and I saw a Mega started. Never won the Mega, so I have to just give it a try.
And for WPT Paris champ Matt Salzberg, the decision to play a Mega satellite after he busted paid off.
Made it. First WPT Mega.
With day 1A coming to an end, those that survived would have tomorrow off. And it was Tennessee pro Donald Nicholson who found himself on the top of the leaderboard.
Run good. What else can you do?
This is day 1B of the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown.
The field was a mix of familiar faces, hopeful amateurs, and those who busted day 1A and took a second chance by re-entering today.
Try number 2.
Mike Sexton started the day in his traditional way.
Let's get ready and go. Shovel up and deal.
But coming off the heels of his WPT final table appearance in Venice, Mike wasn't about to rest on his laurels.
I am going to play my lucky seat right here, my entry. Going for 2 final tables in a row.
With Mike settling into his seat, it was obvious the overall mood of the room was upbeat and fun.
At least I have a beer.
With ones to watch Sean Deeb and Brian Hastings having a party at their table.
Hey, who do you think would win a choking contest, me or him?
Go. Oh, Corey wins.
More beer, please.
With registration now closed, the official numbers were out. The tournament pulled in 542 entries, creating a prize pool worth over $2.5 million. And while most players were dreaming of having their name permanently engraved on the WPT Champions Cup, several pros in the field were also battling for Player of the Year points, including the 2 players tied for the lead. Paris champ Matt Salzberg and 2-time season 11 final tableist Paul Volpe. As the day progressed, players started to bust, including last season's Seminole Hard Rock Showdown champ Tommy Vitas and our own Mike Sexton.
A sad ending here in Florida. Back to the booth. Benny, I'll see you soon.
At the end of the day, all the fun Sean Deeb was having at his table paid off. He finished on top, while the rest of the surviving players were excited to continue the competition.
Tomorrow is gonna pounce them. I'm gonna try to eliminate everybody tomorrow. Like they're not gonna quit in time, and I'm actually accidentally gonna wipe everybody out.
You know they do call me Tiger, because I'm so ferocious. Don't put that on TV.
Day 2 started with the combined fields of Day 1A and Day 1B, giving us 222 players, all hoping to be the next winner to etch their name on the WPT Champions Cup. The Royal Flush girls hit the room of hopefuls, wishing everyone the best.
I already have my wish.
And it was WPT World Champion Carlos Mortensen who got a special RFG greeting, since Day 2 also happened to be his birthday.
Sorry for holding the game. That was a pretty weak one.
On the other side of the room, the mood was not so sweet for pro Vanessa Selbst, who got it all in with ace-king against the pocket tens of amateur Richard Ganesh.
I'm expecting to have
Holy look at that freak.
Vanessa lost the race, which started a string of bust-outs.
Yep, see you next time.
Take it easy, guys.
Shouldn't have put that in on the flop.
I tried to bluff, like king 4 off, and I thought he was making a move, which he was, and then he turned ace. I know, it sucks. He was making a move, though. I was right.
Unfortunately, even the birthday boy got caught up in the wave of eliminations.
Not liking my birthday. I lose 3 hands in a row, you know.
This game is sick.
By the last level of the day, several high-profile players had logged in a good live session. Ones to watch Sean Deeb and Season 8 Player of the Year Faraz Jaka had exciting days that ended them on the top of the chip count.
Just over 480. Pretty good day. Started at 180.
Quite the swingy day. Lose 520K pocket down to 40K, still end with over 500.
With 86 players left, the money bubble was closing in, and the race for WPT Player of the Year points was still in full gear, with both Paul Volpe and Matt Salzberg.
You can win Player of the Day, let me win Player of the Year.
With the money bubble in sight, Day 3 would make or break our players. Find out who makes the money and eventually makes it out to our final 6 as extended coverage of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown continues.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Hollywood, Florida, and extended coverage of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Right now, we're heading into Day 3 and the all-important money bubble.
Day 3, chip lead, hopefully keep it going. You know, a lot of these faces the table, which happens the deeper you get in these tournaments, so see how it goes.
Unfortunately, things did not go well for Sean. In the first level of the day, Sean's chip stack quickly went south, leaving the start of the day chip leader with about 100,000, putting him in the bottom third of the field.
It's not even in Keller's roast beef, it's in category. Like, why are you even bringing it?
You're still screaming.
Thank God I'm short to not deal with these guys for much longer.
On the other hand, Season 8 Player of the Year Faraz Jaka and Louisiana pro Kevin Eyster were starting the day off great by winning hands and adding to their chip stacks. But it would be pro Christian Harder who would play the hand of the day. In three-way action on a board showing ace-10 deuce jack with 2 diamonds,
Canadian amateur Ben Tarzia checks. Corey Burbick bets. And Christian Harder shoves all in over the top. Ben folds and Corey quickly calls, showing he turned a straight.
Nuts there.
Christian reveals he flopped a set of 10s.
Set of 10s, diamond.
No help for Christian, who quickly and quietly exits the room as the last player to bust out of the money.
Good luck, guys.
The next set of players to bust were all guaranteed at least a min cash. And there were surprises in that group, including several former chip leaders.
I think it creates unfair, lofty expectation. Played a couple hands bad early, then just lost all the all-ins. Plus out hand, totally fine with 11 blinds deep with jacks. And he just had queens. So another WPT in the books, but cash, so it's better than nothing.
Not fun.
Not all the players were so gloomy.
I finally cashed at a WPT.
I'm happy. It's my first WPT cash, and, you know, I'm going to be on the scene a lot more.
Later in the day, Player of the Year contenders Paul Volpe and Matt Salzberg would find themselves sitting at the same table. Matt would look on as Paul would shove holding a suited ace-6 to get called by the ace-queen of Kevin Eyster. The flop gives Paul a flush draw, and the turn gives him a gut shot straight draw. With all those outs, Paul still couldn't hit, leaving room for Matt Salzberg to jump ahead of Paul and earn more Player of the Year points.
You know, I never root for guys to lose. Come on. You're happy though.
It's human nature.
Day 3 would end with 21 players, all hoping to make it to the TV final table. Kevin Eyster would top the leaderboard with Faraz Jaka holding his own in 3rd place.
Morning.
The plan is to take advantage of some of these boys.
You just complain enough, things will happen. Good things will happen.
It's day 4 of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. We're playing down to our final 6 today. There are some amazing names still left on the field. Let's go check out the action.
All in.
All in. Call.
And good things were happening for Legends final tableist Jeff Madsen, who cracked the aces of chip leader Kevin Eyster to double up. Over at table 3, Florida Pro and Kevin's friend Zoe Karim gave Joey Kudin the 1-2 punch with an ace-queen. First by crippling Kudin and calling his bluff. Then busting Joey, who held ace-6. Bust outs continued, thanks in part to a good run by Kevin Eyster.
Oh, man, so sick. 5-8. I hit a set of queens and I slow played him. I should have never slow played him. I should have bet the flop so freaking hard.
So while Nancy was playing should've, would've, could've, Paris champ Matt Salzberg was racing for his tournament life.
Put an ace out there.
Matt's suited ace-queen didn't hit against young pro David Tuttle's pocket jacks. Matt went out in 13th place, which earned him 100 Player of the Year points, breaking his tie with Paul Volpe, but leaving room for the race to be determined in Vegas at the WPT World Championship. Soon after Matt's exit, David Tuttle would find himself in another big hand. Now against entrepreneur Paul Dugozima. This time David's pocket pair didn't hold, and he was out.
I feel horrible right now. How do you feel?
With 10 players left, the TV table and WPT Champions Cup were in sight, and Kevin Eyster was still on a roll. His ace-king smashed Borgata champ Ben Hamnet's suited ace-10, crushing Ben's chance at making a second WPT final table this season. Then it was season 8 WPT Player of the Year Faraz Jaka's turn. Faraz called Kevin's all in. Faraz revealed he had pocket kings, but Kevin was one better with aces. No miracle for Faraz, and he was out in 9th place. But the hand of day 4 would be a 3-way all-in, with Paul Dugozima's pocket 10s making a set on the river and eliminating 2 players in one fell swoop.
What are you guys feeling right now?
Feel awesome.
Feel awesome.
Feel great.
Living the dream.
That double elimination quickly ended the night and set up a final table that includes experienced WPT final tableist Jeff Madsen, a talented entrepreneur, a likable local grinder, and a smart Canadian amateur, and 2 good friends at opposite ends of the chip count. Short stack Florida pro Zoe Karim and our chip leader, Louisiana poker whiz, Kevin Eyster. With our final 6 players settling into their seats, we turn our attention to our own Poker Hall of Famer, Mike Sexton, and former tennis champ and Hollywood cash game expert, Vince Van Patten. Guys, taking a look at this competition, which players stand out for you?
Well, Amanda, 2 guys stand out to me at this final table. The first is Jeff Madsen, poker pro out of Las Vegas, Although Jeff's only 27 years old, he's got far and away the most experience in big-time poker tournaments than all these guys at the final table tonight. Jeff has 2 World Series of Poker bracelets to his credit, and it's the second WPT final table he's made this season. So I think tonight could be the night that Jeff takes down his first WPT title. But the guys that all eyes are looking at tonight is the youngest player at the table, Kevin Eyster. He's a 23-year-old poker pro, and because he's got a big chip lead tonight, he is obviously the favorite and the guy to beat. But I'll be interested to see how he handles the pressure under the bright lights of his first WPT final table.
All right, Vince, you find the great poker characters at this table. Who's grabbing your attention tonight?
Well, I would have to start with Daniel Letts from Jamaica. Lives in Miami, got in this tournament through a satellite. So he's a very good player, but he's also very superstitious. Here's why. He had to get a haircut this week. He wanted to shave his head. He was going to do it himself. He had his head half shaved, right? And all of a sudden, the shaver went out. It broke. So he decided he was going to play the next day with a hat over his head. But he kept advancing and doing so well, he said, I'm not going to shave the rest of my head. So here we got a guy going for a WPT title with half a haircut. Now, that is beautiful.
That was Thursday. I said, I'm not shaving until it's done.
That's pretty sweet. That's awesome.
But on top of that, we have Ben Tarzia, who's from Canada. He's a former sales executive for a cement company. He's Italian, go figure. But now he owns a tattoo parlor. So a very colorful bunch. This is a poker freak show. And right now, it is going to be a good one. And our WPT executive tour director, Matt Savage, is talking to Jeff Manson.
This is your best WPT season to date. What have you done to change your game, or are you just running better?
I think it's just about the experience I've got lately, and I'm being more patient. I'm not trying to overthink, overplay too much, and I'm kind of just letting it fall in my lap a little bit, and I think that's the key in poker.
All right, we hear a lot about your rap. Can we hear a few lines about tonight's final table?
Oh, man. Yo, Matt Savage, my chips are below average, but I'm still gonna be the champion. That's me, Jeff Madsen. So hopefully by the end of the tournament, with a little bit of luck, I'll be hoisting a trophy above my head and maybe $1 million bucks.
Very nice. Amanda, can you believe this guy's still single?
Well, I knew he was single. He's one of my best friends, Matt.
Being single's fun.
All right, first place tonight will win over $660,000. That includes a seat to the $25,000 WPT World Championship happening very soon at Bellagio. Of course, tonight's winner will also earn one of poker's greatest honors and have their name permanently engraved on the WPT Champions Cup. The final table here at the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown is about to get underway. Plus, we'll see Tony Dunst telling it like it is in the raw deal. And we'll hear what the final 6 think of tonight's competition. There's a lot on board. Mike and Vince will be back with the call of the game right after this.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
This group plays pretty fast overall, definitely. I think seems like it's kind of a Florida thing, like a little bit more aggressive. Overall, I'm comfortable with it.
They all play the same way. They're super aggro. I don't like to flip for my life. They do. These guys, if they feel they can muscle you off a hand, they will put it in.
Representing Jamaica, Daniel Letts.
No, I have highly respect for all the players who are in the final table, because to reach there, you must have gone through, you know, so much.
The competition at the final table is pretty tough. The guy on my left, Kevin, he's a really good tournament player, like really good.
Chip leader, Kevin Eyster.
I would tell him they got to be, because I'm in first in chips and I'm the most feared player in everyone's eyes, I believe. They just don't ever know what I have, so they're just so confused. They're just like, it doesn't make sense.
I think the competition is fairly decent. I feel like if I get a couple double ups and get some chips going, there's probably no way anyone but me or Kevin win this tournament, but I might be just a little confident and cocky saying that, but it's just how I feel.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. You're watching the final table of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown here in Hollywood, Florida.
That's right. We are down to 6 players. The players are ready. These guys are higher than a teenager at Coachella. Let's go, watch them roll. Let's go to the felt.
Well, there you see our chip leader, Kevin Eyster, from Louisiana, now living in Denver, Colorado, but way out in front with $5.6 million. Youngest player at the table. He'll be the guy to beat. All right, first action is going to be on the rap king of the poker world, Jeff Madsen.
That's right, Jeff Madsen from Santa Monica, quick fold. And he's a 5,000, blinds at 20 and 40. Fold.
Yeah, Ben from Ontario, Canada, out. Zoe out as well.
Daniel Letts from Jamaica going to fold this. Now it's around Paul Dugazima.
Easy. Zima.
27-year-old from St. Petersburg, Florida.
It's first hand, man.
Raise. He's raised to 110,000 to go.
This is, I can definitely flat this time.
Kevin Eyster right behind him, the chip leader, is going to make the call with just a 10-6. Here we go with the flop.
Well, it's just so tough to play when the chip leader's sitting right on your left because he makes these calls. And now what do you do when it comes 8-6 deuce like this? No help. You've got ace high. As you can see, Kevin's made 2 6s, but Paul going to make the continuation bet.
115. Kevin Eyster, the chip leader, catching a piece of that, makes the quick call, of course. And we are going to the turn.
Well, board pairs 6s, gives Kevin 3 of a kind. Paul now drawing completely dead in this hand. No card he can catch to win the pot.
And he is going to slow down, thank goodness. And Eyster's hoping that he did have an overpair, but nevertheless, you're 3 of a kind, popping out a bet of 160. And Paul looking over at Eyster. He's going to give him action, Mike.
Yep. Drawing dead.
River card, a deuce.
Well, that may cost him more money because now he's got 2 pair with an ace kicker, but
Paul is going to check it. Eyster now with a measly full boat. And let's see if he bets the right amount to get his sucker to call.
That's a big bet, Vince. 550,000.
That is a chase-away bet right there.
And Paul now lets it go. So the rich get richer. Kevin Eyster taking down pot number 1 to extend his chip lead.
There's an overbet there. Didn't work out, but right now, as you can see, our first place finisher is going to take home $660,000 here in Florida. There's the WPT Champions Cup. When you win a championship, your name gets inscribed on that beautiful trophy. To the felt we go. Daniel Letts first to act from Jamaica, now living in Miami, 38 years old, and he picks up a big hand, ace king.
He got in this tournament by winning a $500 satellite. He's been up and down. He's unemployed right now. Guy loves poker, hates the 9-to-5 life, actually slept in his car for a week once, Vince.
He makes it 85,000 to go, and like we said earlier, he has half a haircut, Daniel Letts does. But it's been lucky for him. Now look at this, a re-raise by Kevin Eyster with an ace-deuce. Makes it 210 to go, a couple folds. Back on Letts. Got ace-king, there's his lovely wife, Laura, rooting him on. What a moment for Letts.
Now he's going to re-raise.
Makes it 585 to go. Smart move, get aggressive, and Kevin has to lay down his hand.
Daniel putting the hammer down on him, taking down that pot. And Vince, we've never had anyone from Jamaica take down a WPT title. We could see a first here tonight.
That would be exciting. Daniel Letts with a big chance here. Lives in Miami, got in this tournament through his satellite, and he is punching out pretty good here in the beginning of this event.
Well, Vince, you know poker players like I do. They're very superstitious guys. Some guys don't change underwear all week. They don't change socks all week. This guy gets half a haircut. He's doing good. He lasts through day 1. He said, hey, I'm going to stick with it, you know? If it's working, stay with it. That's what I
got to do it. Kevin Eyster with a quick fold. And now from Santa Monica, Jeff Madsen, tough poker pro. 27 with a queen and a diamond is going to make it 85,000 to go.
Jeff's got a couple World Series of Poker bracelets to his credit, trying to get a WPT title. This is second final table this season on the World Poker Tour, so.
Well, Paul Dugazima is going to call this, Mike, with a king-jack. So two-way action. Here we go with the flop. It's a 10-7-3.
Well, no help to either player. Action on Paul. He checks.
And Jeff Madsen, 27 years old. Second WPT final table. The rapper is going to bet the continuation bet.
Paul says he plays a pretty tight game of poker. But look at this. Vince, he is check raised here. And he is going to win this pot by making a bold move right there. So I'm not so sure about that tight player image he's trying to project. Check raising with nothing to take down the pot.
And look at that, a nice smile by him. Now, he's also, Paul is known as a backer of players. So he doesn't just play himself, he backs other players up into events.
Yeah, guys that don't have money to buy in, Always looking for stake horses? Well, there's your man.
Right back at it, Paul, with a quick fold. And now Kevin Eyster, the chip leader, is going to raise with just a 7-3. Oh, he's going to get action by the man from Jamaica, Daniel Letts. He's a local now with a queen jack. But also Ben Tarzia in with a 6-3 of clubs, so.
Three-way action here in the raised pot. Flop comes jack, 8 deuce. Good flop for Daniel. He's got the top pair.
Certainly does. He has to act first. He checks it. Kevin Eyster now. Gonna make a continuation bet, 105. Ben Tarzia, a tattoo shop owner's gonna fold his hand. Caught nothing of that flop. So now you're Daniel, you got your top pair. But he's not gonna repop it, just gonna call. So we're going to the turn.
Well, a 7 comes off. Now this gives Kevin a pair of 7s, but still way behind here. But
yeah, he can get into trouble here.
Well, also a possible straight out there. I don't see him getting in much trouble. No, he's gonna check it right here.
Wow, that's a good slowdown.
When a 3 comes off on the river, how about that? 2 runners in a row for Kevin. He now has the best hand with 7s and 3s. You talk about running well. Woof.
Daniel Letts is gonna check. Kevin's gonna try to make some more money, and it's gonna work.
Ooh. 2 pairs is good.
Well, there you see the pain for the Jamaican. And Vince, he'll be smoking something on the break after that hand, I promise you. Tough beat for Daniel right there.
Took you 2 runners to win that hand, Kev.
I was going to check the river. If I didn't hit a 7 or 3, get off my back.
Kevin Eyster, the 23-year-old out of Louisiana, extending his chip lead as we're getting started here in Florida.
I'm Tuba, one of the Royal Flush Girls. You're watching Season 11 of the World Poker Tour.
You can't win anything on social poker sites, so people play any 2 cards. And that's not real poker. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker because we're competing for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
The Royal Flush Girls and I have been in Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, and we've been having so much fun. It's such a blast here. On day 1A, we had a players appreciation party at a Mediterranean restaurant called Rocco.
It was so much fun, dancing, food, there's belly dancers.
Everyone got up to dance. Nobody was being shy. Everyone was really excited. And it was just a good time, good conversations, great people.
There was swords and fire and a lot of craziness going on.
Well, is that what you call dancing?
Rocking and rolling, my friend.
Is that what you call that? Oh, man. Looked like you were hurting there.
Hey, it's not easy at my age.
Sorry, no, you're looking good. All right, back to the felt we go. Daniel, let's hear the local grinder. Quick fold by him. Paul DeGuzima. He's an entrepreneur, poker backer, this time with a Jack 10. 27 years old. He likes his hand, and he will raise. Looks like to 85,000. Kevin Eyster, the chip leader, going out. Also, Jeff Madsen out. Ben now looks at.
Oh, look at this. Vince, he's got 2 aces out of the blind.
How much is it?
Somebody's raised in front of him.
Weapons of mass destruction, and what a great time to get it. Tattoo shop owner.
He just calls, Vince. Does not re-raise with the 2 aces out of the blind.
Try to disguise the strength of that hand. Zoe folds. Here we go with the flop. Oh, and he catches 3 of a kind, just like that. 3 aces.
Well, the top set, the best hand possible, and he checks it. Paul gonna make the continuation bet, like most would in this spot.
Let's see if Ben gets fancy with a raise. Nope.
No hand can beat him, so why raise it?
Just calls.
Just walk the dog. Let the guy keep betting.
That's right. Let the big fish wiggle. 7 on the turn.
Doesn't have to worry about flushes. Nothing now. He's got aces full, and he checks again.
Yeah, beautifully done by Ben.
Now, once the guy calls you on a flop with an ace out there, don't you slow down a little bit here, Vince, or not?
I think you do.
Well, maybe he's putting him on some kind of heart flush draw or something.
He continues to bet, Mike. $245 donation into Ben's pocket, and Ben, of course, with just the call.
I check.
He's going to check on the river before the card comes up. Interesting.
Checked in the dark. Why not? You hope the guy hits something.
8 of diamonds. And I tell you something, that is going to induce a bet. Look at this.
A quick bet. He has fired a 3rd shell into this pot.
Now look at this acting job by Ben. He's looking over like, do I have you? I'm looking at you, I'm staring at you. Do you have a big hand? Oh, nevertheless, I'm gonna take a chance, I'm gonna re-raise. That's the thought process of this man.
He definitely is gonna re-raise, that's for sure. And there it is.
Yep.
Finally come. Folks, this is something you don't see very often. A guy with 2 aces, never raising the pot one time until after all the cards are out. Just doesn't happen very often at all.
Finally, Paul puts down the hand, and Ben is gonna show it.
Not sure Ben should have showed that hand, but he did.
The Canadian Ben just tattooing Paul right there with a simple full house of aces. Nicely done.
The tattoo artist, Ben, put the needle in Paul right there. Didn't he take down that pot?
Yeah, Paul doesn't look too happy about it.
And on the spot.
Ben very chatty right now.
Well, why not? You know, this guy was a suit, Vince. 20 years he worked as a sales executive. Now he's retired. Decided to buy himself a tattoo shop. Never been happier. Big family man, 4 children.
Wow.
All in.
Great story, but right now, Zoe Karim has gone all in with an ace-deuce. Everybody folds, but Paul now with an ace-3 is considering this.
I have a count, please.
5-10.
5-10.
This guy played football at Mount Union College for a year and a half before getting hurt. Was roommates with Pierre Garçon.
WWJD.
I'm pretty sure you would call, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Wide receiver of the Washington Redskins, and he is going to call this.
Probably be a chopped pot, a split pot.
You just don't
know.
Figures to be, unless one of them catch a deuce or a 3 or make a flush.
Let's see if Zoe can get lucky here.
I was just so happy to see an ace on the button. I was like, thank God. Now I don't have to keep jamming cutoffs.
And the deuce just like that on the flop. He does get lucky.
Amazing flop right there for Zoe. Gives him a great shot to double up right here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 4 of hearts all day.
Zoe Karim looking pretty. 6 of clubs on the turn. No help for Paul. He's got to catch a 3 now to win the hand, to knock out Zoe.
They'd split the pot if a 6 comes off.
Let's see what happens.
Well, it's an 8, so Zoe Karim is going to double up here, and he gets very lucky to take down that pot.
I was rooting for chop. I was rooting for chop, too.
You know what, Mike? There was someone else that got lucky out here this week. Club WPT member Carl Hutchins.
He won his way into this tournament, got expenses paid down here, played with all these great players down there, had himself a ball this week, hung out with the Royal Flush girls. Carl had a memorable week, no question about it, all because of being a member and winning on ClubWPT.com.
That's right. You have a chance of winning up to $100,000 in cash and prizes. By the way, if you're a Club WPT VIP member, you get preference when you come to the event at the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar. You get to hang out with them and have a good time. So join us on ClubWPT.com.
Yeah, other perks. You get the WPT magazine. Check out ClubWPT.com, become a VIP member, and you can receive all those benefits. And who knows, you might win a seat into WPT events just like Carl did.
All right, back down to the game we go.
And there you see Kevin Eyster with a massive chip lead, $6.5 million, almost a 2-to-1 lead over the second place guy, which has been the Canadian.
Lines are going up to 25 and 50,000. Action on Kevin Eyster, the chip leader. He looks down at Dolly Parton hand, 9-5.
110.
Makes it 110. Jeff Madsen out. Ben Tarzia not playing. Zoe gonna go away. No action for Daniel Letts, but it's around to Paul.
Yeah, Paul looks down at the suited connectors, the 7-6 of spade.
This guy will play any hand at any time with anyone.
Vince, he told us he was a tight player. The guy's played every hand. He fired 3 shells with a complete bluff a minute ago.
I like his style, actually. And here is the flop.
A good flop for Paul. Out in front here with a pair of 7s now. It's come 8-8-7.
Now Kevin with an inside straight draw. That's about it. But he is going to make the continuation bet of 90,000. Paul out in front, like you said, going to make the call. And the turn card, well, it's another heart. Queen of hearts.
Yeah, neither player happy to see a 3rd out there, because neither player have a heart. It goes check, check here on the turn.
Yes, it does. And the river card is a 6. What a card for Kevin Eyster, hitting his straight.
Just incredible. He hit runner a minute ago to make 2 pair to beat Daniel, and now he's caught a gut shot 6 on the river. He's going to win this pot as well.
It's just the amount of money that you can extract from your victim, and, well, that's pretty significant. 575. I think he overbet that.
You're right, Ben. It's only 450,000 in the pot, so a massive overbet, which tries to make it look like a bluff, but in fact it wasn't.
Yep, he's going to chase Paul away.
Yeah, definitely a smaller bet might have trapped Paul there for some money, but in the meantime, Kevin Eyster running pretty good right here, looks like. Extends his chip lead.
We are at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. 6 players. Right back at him. And Zoe with a quick fold.
Well, Daniel, just a queen deuce offsuit out as well.
Paul Dugozima finally going to take a breather.
110.
Well, Kevin going to raise it up on the button here with the ace high.
Yep, makes it 110 to go. Jeff Madsen out Ben, though. Ben Tarzia has a decent ace-6, will make this call.
Be gentle on me now.
Always, always.
Ben's family man, 4 kids, likes to ride motorcycles.
Well, look at this flop. It's great for Ben. 3 of a kind like that. Ben checks it. Nothing hitting for Kevin, but he's aggressive. We'll make a continuation bet. 90,000. Boy, Ben is flopping beautifully here tonight when he gets involved in a hand. Just makes the okie dokie call.
Well, it worked for him before.
And we're going to the turn.
Now a king comes off. Well, Ben's going to check, and here comes Kevin one more time. Going to continue firing at this pot. 155,000, and party might be over for him here, right here, because Ben is going to raise it with the 3 6s.
He is going to make it a total of 375. Now, what is Kevin doing? He's going to stick around and make this call. That is surprising.
Absolutely shocked here. Drawing dead, as you can see, but why would you call there? You just wouldn't think an amateur player, a businessman, is going to check raise with no hand.
I agree. Queen of Diamonds on the river. No help, of course, for Eyster, and Ben will make this bet a hefty 525. This is pretty uncallable if you really analyze the player.
You can only beat a stone bluff. Would an amateur check raise you, make a stone bluff in this situation? I wouldn't think so.
Only a 6 and bluffs makes sense right here.
He's talking himself into it. He's making a bad call.
6.
Very surprised Kevin Eyster went for that. Just as we were surprised a minute ago when Paul kept firing at the pot as the Canadian was calling him. So he's just letting these guys fire off, Vince. It's beautiful.
We've reached the point in our competition where Tony Dunst is feeling the need to chime in. That means the latest installment of The Raw Deal is up next. You don't want to miss it, so stick around.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to Hollywood, Florida, and the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Tony Dunst has been keeping an eye on the action at this final table and is ready to give us his thoughts in this edition of The Raw Deal.
Louisiana pro Kevin Eyster started this final table as the chip leader, and to his credit, has steadily increased his chip stack since play began.
The rich get richer. Kevin Eyster taking down pot number 1 to extend his chip lead.
He's won most of the pots he's entered and avoided danger the few times he had the second best hand. However, we saw that streak end when he tangled in a big pot with Canadian amateur and tattoo parlor entrepreneur Ben Tarzia. So why and how did Kevin derail his progress? Let's break it down. Kevin starts the handoff by raising the button with ace-5.
110.
And Ben calls in the big blind with ace-6.
Be gentle on me now.
Always, always.
Ben hits gin when the flop comes 6-3-6, and he check calls a small continuation bet from Kevin. When the king of diamonds lands on the turn, things get weird. Ben checks and Kevin bets 155,000 as a bluff, aiming to fold out small pairs, better ace highs, and weak draws. Ben makes a fairly small check raise to 375,000, and Kevin surprisingly calls that raise with just ace high. So why would Kevin call the check raise? I'm guessing that he has seen Ben make semi-bluffs with draws leading up to the final table, and because Kevin hasn't been out of line up to this point. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure what enticed him to call. The river brings a queen, and Ben bets around 40% pot. Kevin knows and even announces that he's going to see either a 6 or a bluff.
6 and bluffs makes sense right here.
Then makes the call and gets shown the 6. Essentially, when Kevin decided that he was facing a 6 or a bluff on the turn, he knew he was calling most bets on the river if it didn't complete the draws. So while his river call isn't that unusual, his willingness to call the turn with the intention to call the river is pretty shocking. I think the motivation for making those calls goes back to Kevin having won nearly every pot at the final table. When things are going well, sometimes players get into a groove and start assuming they'll win every hand. But as the old saying goes, when you assume you make an ass out of you and me. But Kevin, in this case, there was no me, just you.
Well, didn't make sense why he called the guy's check raise on the turn. I agree with that.
It's brilliant stuff. Well done. Back to the table we go as 6 players remain. Kevin is still the chip leader with 5.4 million in chips. Blinds at 25 and 50. Down to the felt we go. To the tattoo shop owner, Ben. He goes out. And now Zoe Karim, young poker pro, has a queen 10. He's on the short stack. And he is going to raise this. Yep, he makes it 110 to go. Daniel Paul out. Kevin Eyster picks up a pair of jacks. He's the roommate to Zoe, and he's just going to call it.
Well, just calls, does not raise there.
Jeff out. So two-way action. I'm surprised he didn't repop that.
Very surprised myself. Well, flop comes 7, 8, 9 with 2 clubs. As you can see, Kevin out in front with the jacks. And he's now going to lead out and bet into his roommate. These guys room together on the road when they travel the tour.
So he's picked up an open-ended straight draw, though.
Yep, and a backdoor flush draw.
All in.
And he's going to go all in.
Oh.
Wow. Well, Zoe all in and called.
Oh.
So the roommate's battling it out here.
You guys are roommates?
It looks like Zoe is getting back to the room first, and I think the door is going to get locked.
Oh, boy, this could be the end of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, club be okay. Jack for a sweat. Then pair the 7.
Kevin, a big chance to knock out his roommate and get down to 5 players. Here comes the turn card. It is a 10.
Now this gives Zoe a flush draw. He's got a higher flush draw. Obviously the 8 of clubs won't help him. They give his opponent a straight flush, but
they don't realize he improved.
He needs to catch a 10 or a jack or a club.
Kevin is still 1 card away from knocking out his roommate. Zoe still pretty big underdog. He needs to get lucky here to survive, and he does get lucky.
Runner flush for Zoe, Karim, and Vince. When your roommate does things like that to you, you know, you start saying, maybe it's time to get a new roomie here. This guy's not very lucky for me.
Oh, wow, no sharing the toothpaste tomorrow. This is getting fun.
I run a little too good.
With Zoe Karim's double up, we end our first hour of coverage at the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Guys, Zoe really is on a roll. How important is momentum in this game?
Well, Amanda, in my opinion, poker's not unlike any sport. Momentum plays a key role in winning. And certainly in poker, you can get on a momentum rush in a number of ways. For example, you can pick up several big hands in a row. You got momentum. You're doing well. You're feeling good. You can bluff a couple pots where you know you earn those pots by stealing them. And you can do like Zoe just did, where you suck out on the river and you stay alive in a tournament, and when that happens, you feel like, boy, it's an omen for me. I can win this thing.
I never want to be good if I can just drill every river. I don't know. I'd rather be good, man.
And I think Zoe's going to be very tough to get out of this tournament, but still, you got to give the nod right now to Kevin Eyster, our chip leader. He came to the final table chip leader, still our chip leader. He'll be the guy to beat tonight.
All right, and Vince, are the players a little quieter at the table than you expected?
Yeah, we did expect a little bit more talk, but that doesn't mean anything because these guys are really concentrated. There's big money at stake, and especially you talk about a guy like Daniel Letts, the Jamaican. The guy's got half a haircut, all right? This is big money for that man. If he takes his title, he can get the whole thing done. So good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen. Join us next time from Hollywood, Florida for more of Season 11's coverage of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Amanda Leatherman saying thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In South Florida, the air is hot, but the players are cool. Season 11's extended coverage of the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown continues, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles to the center of the ring.
He needs the extreme miracle.
Welcome back to our in-depth coverage of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown in Hollywood, Florida. I'm Amanda Leatherman, sitting in for Kimberly Lansing. Joining me is WPT's own in-house poker experts, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. Guys, we still have 6 players remaining. What's your take on these players?
Well, Amanda, my first take is that youth is once again prevailing on the World Poker Tour. 4 out of these 6 players, 27 years of age or younger. And our current chip leader, 23-year-old Kevin Eyster, is the guy to beat here tonight, I think. He came to the final table as chip leader. He's still the chip leader. Gonna be tough to get these young guns out of here, Vince.
And Vince, what should we look for as the competition continues?
Well, Amanda, it's tough. We're watching some very tricky, South Florida steaming action. They're playing fast. But you know what? There's a lot at stake, a lot of money.
All right, we have word that the cards are about to go back in the air, so let's get down to the table.
Well, there you see Kevin Eyster well out in front, 4.7 million in chips. The Cajun trying to do it.
First player's going to take home $660,000, and he's a 5,000. Blinds at 25 and 50. To the felt we go. Action on Zoe Karim, 26-year-old folds. Daniel Letts.
Daniel from Jamaica, living in Miami now. He's out, but here's Paul.
He backs players in other tournaments.
Yeah, guys that don't have buy-ins, he actually stakes them for a piece of the action.
He's made it 110 to go. Couple folds around to Ben. He's a tattoo shop owner. He's going to make this call with an 8-4 of clubs.
Ben was a sales exec for 20 years. He was a suit, as he called himself. Got rid of that job, opened up a tattoo shop. Loves his life now. Got 4 kids. Rides the motorcycles. Gotta love it.
Flops ace, ace, 8, makes Paul 3 of a kind. Hitting a nice hand. Ben has a piece of that.
Yeah, he's got the 2 8s. Might get him in trouble here.
Paul's bet 125. Ben's gonna stick around.
Now a 6 comes off. So Ben drawing dead now. He checks it. Now Paul's been burned by this guy a couple times at this final table so far. Might be fearful he's got 3 aces with a better kicker, so he checked it.
Ben's gonna check the river as a king comes up.
Now you gotta feel like 3 aces for sure is the best hand. Paul feels that way, and he's gonna try to get a value bet of $240,000 in.
You hit that king, huh, Paul?
Not a very good conversationalist, so I can't really say the same thing Kevin does.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that rule.
This should be a nice getaway if Ben could lay this down. And the bet is 240. Ben, the tattoo shop man, will fold the hand. Nicely done. And Paul will pick up the spot. There's the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar, where the beautiful Royal Flush Girls talk to just about anyone, about anything. I suppose. Boy. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, you're going to get him in trouble there.
Okay. It is fun.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Back to this hand, Paul. Quick fold. Kevin Eyster out.
Action over to Jeff Matson, his second WPT final table this season, but he folds as well, as does Ben, so it's a battle of the blinds here.
Zoe Karim now with just a queen, 3 of diamonds. Zoe likes video games. Used to work at the family video store. He's going to raise. Makes it 120 to go into Daniel Letts.
He lives in Miami now, but he's a Jamaican.
Makes the quick call.
Got in this tournament on a satellite. Actually was running bad there once. Vince slept in his car for a week, so you know the money means a lot to this guy. All right, well, flop comes ace, king, deuce. No help to either player, but looks like Zoe's going to make the continuation bet here, and that is going to be the case.
130. And Daniel Letts, a local, originally out of Jamaica, is going to make the nice laydown.
Zoe Karim taking down that pot.
Mm-hmm. Zoe Karim. Yeah, he's a friend and a roommate of Kevin Eyster.
Yeah, these guys travel the road together. Kevin, the chip leader here at this table, as you can see, and pretty unusual roommates making the final table together.
Certainly is. 6 players remain here at the Seminole Hard Rock. Back to the felt. Kevin Eyster folds. Jeff Madsen from Santa Monica, 2-time World Series bracelet winner, folds the hand as well. Now Ben is going to raise. And Zoe Karim has picked up a pair of aces.
Just a dream.
What a time to get it. Got the sucker on your right betting before you. And here comes the raise. Yes, 265 to go. Daniel out. Paul gonna look at a pair of jacks. Uh-oh.
Wow. Now the pot has been raised and re-raised in front of you. You pick up 2 jacks here. Looks like a pretty big hand, but let's see what you do.
Well, sometimes the guy on the button re-raises a guy just because he has position. Doesn't have to be that strong. So look at this. That's what Paul's thinking. Thinks his jacks might be out in front. He re-raises. Ben out. Now, do you just slow play this right now and just got the guy wrapped up, just call and try to disguise a little bit? Or do you push?
What'd you start the hand with, Paul? Like over 3?
Not exactly sure.
Okay.
Well, Zoe's got about 2.2 million. Be shocked if he just doesn't get it in here.
All in?
Wow, he is doing exactly that.
Well, he does get it all in.
I think Paul can get away from this hand right now.
Man, it's going to cost him about another $1.5 million to make the call.
Yep, he's already put in 725. He's going to make a quick call.
Wow, he does make a snap call now.
Gambling call. That's debatable.
He 4-bet the pot and yet got re-raised all in. I mean, you almost have to put the guy on aces, kings, or queens, it would seem like. You just think if the guy had ace-king, he would call your raise, look at a flop before he put the rest of his money in.
Flop comes up 995. No luck for Paul with the jacks. Zoe well out in front with the aces.
Yeah, Paul is going to have to catch a jack to win this pot. 6 on the turn, down to the river. Paul must catch a jack to win this pot. Nothing else will do.
Otherwise, he's pretty much destroyed, and Zoe's now the hero at the table. Can Zoe do this?
Well, a king comes off.
I saw paint. I was like...
Now, the second time Zoe's double up through Paul at this final table.
Oh, there's not none near the jack.
6 players going after a huge title here at the Seminole Hard Rock.
We have a quick break in the action, but up next, a special look at a WPT Ones to Watch that shows how one player found a hot home here in South Florida. Plus, the Royal Flush girls suit up to soak in the South Florida sun. You really don't want to miss this, so stick around.
Sometimes we want to play poker without the hassling with traffic, the crowded poker rooms. That's why we love ClubWPT.com, where we play for our share of $100,000 in monthly cash and prizes from the comfort from our homes. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
There's so much here at Seminole Hard Rock to do. There's really never a time where you don't know what to do or you may be bored because there's always something going on here. We had our Royal Flush Girl games. It was open to our players, and our Cub qualifier played with us, Carl.
The Royal Flush Girl Games was so much fun. All of us girls got to be the team captain for our teammates. We've always been very athletic. I love volleyball. I used to play when I was younger. I love playing. I dive in the sand and do all that fun stuff.
I wasn't the most excited Royal Flush girl when I was told that we were playing volleyball. I think one of the players got really upset because they couldn't even serve the ball over the net, and every time I hit it out of bounds and kept losing points for our team. So I'm pretty sure that one of the players just hit me in the head with the ball to kind of knock some sense into me. I felt my brain shake.
Everybody thinks that I'm the most competitive person out of all the Royal Flush girls, yes.
I can do this all day, you know?
Unfortunately, we lost. Came in second. Tua came in first. Number 1.
Well, Vance, one thing's for sure. There's no losers on the volleyball court when the Royal Flush girls are out there.
It is a tough life out here, huh, Mike?
Oh, man.
We're having a great time at the Seminole Hard Rock. And right now, you see Kevin Eyster's the chip leader.
Zoe Karim, his roommate on the road, in second place right now. So the roomies are dabbing it right now in first and second chip position.
Blinds at 25 and 50. To the felt we go. Jeff Madsen from Santa Monica with a nothing hand. folds it, and now Ben, the tattoo shop owner, with a pair of aces. Wow, 115.
Well, you know what he's saying under his breath right now, Vince. Come on, you young pups. Raise me. Please raise me. Somebody raise me.
Will he get action? Everyone's folding. Kevin Eyster last to... No, it's gonna wrap it up. Ben can't get action with the aces.
Always is a little frustrating. You pick up aces and get no action.
And there's the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar. And at the bar, we see ClubWPT.com qualifier Carl Hutchins. He played in the event. He's been having a great time all week, hanging out. And you know what? If you're a ClubWPT VIP member, you can receive preferred seating. You can come out, meet us, Mike and I, Kimberly, Tony Dunst, and the Royal Flush Girls at all our televised live events. All right, to the felt we go, Zoe.
Yeah, the 26-year-old pro out of Orlando, Florida, raising it up here. But look at this. Daniel's picked up 2 aces. Now, Vince, when you play poker, you're only, on average, supposed to pick up aces once every 220 hands. But look how many times aces have come out at this final table tonight. Incredible.
And the local grinder has re-raised.
Jeff Madsen, he folds as well.
Everyone's folding back around to Zoe, and he's gonna fold.
So Daniel taking down that pot.
Ace is not really paying off, getting little putts. And there's Daniel-lette's wife, Laura, sweating her man.
This tournament attracted several current WPT ones to watch, including Sean Deeb, AP Fahurat, and Brian Hastings. Sean was the only player out of the 3 to cash, but the good news is that Brian Hastings didn't have to go far to find comfort, since he's adopted South Florida as his second home, as we see in this edition of Ones to Watch.
You know Brian Hastings, right? I mean, he's definitely the ones to watch.
He's a Cornell grad, he's an entrepreneur, he's one of the best poker players in the world.
I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
He's always smiling and having a good time, not taking things too seriously.
Brian Hastings, the legend, he's awesome. He had legendary heads-up matches online where he wins something like $400 trillion in a heads-up match in 12 hours.
Most money I've won in one day is $4.18 million. That was in a heads-up PLO match against Victor Blom. And I was watching a friend play Victor, and just the matches were always really fun to watch, as well as the play. Just a lot of action back and forth. And I thought, man, I really don't feel like studying right now. I'd much rather be playing. After the first million or so, I'd say he started tilting pretty hard, and that was helpful as well. All I wanted to do was go out and celebrate. I felt like I was on cloud 9. And then all my friends were like, I'm studying. It was just the complete wrong time for that in a college town.
Brian Hastings, you're awesome, bro. Sicko.
Woo, wait, you're bragging about that hand? You did nothing in that hand.
I got the real hand out and then got it heads up against the hand and won.
You're taking credit for that.
Next level. I love when other players underestimate me. I mean, it's the best. High-stakes poker is largely driven by egos, and if it's a bunch of professionals playing against each other, there's got to be one professional that's overestimating their ability for there to be a poker game.
Brian plays as close to optimal as anyone you'll ever see.
I've never been a guy who's really completely driven by money. I was drawn to poker for the competitive aspect. I realized it was something that I could be good at and that I can get better and measure myself against the competition. That being said, the money is a nice byproduct of poker.
The guy's got the cheat codes. Life probably has infinite money, but you don't see him out spending tons of cash on stupid stuff. I saw that he bought a condo in Florida and living the dream.
Just have to watch my skin doesn't melt off in the South Florida sun.
He's definitely one of those goofy, really smart kids.
It's good stuff.
Who doesn't even understand how smart he is. I think there's a lot of things that come out of his mouth that he actually thinks sound dumb, but to intelligent people, they realize just how creative and how unique his thought process is.
To be honest, I don't think I'm as smart as I seem on paper.
Well, Brian Hastings, don't buy that, folks. The guy's a genius. Certainly an online genius, trying to make his mark out here in live tournaments, but highly respected, well-liked Brian Hastings.
I want to be Brian Hastings.
Yeah, multi-millionaire in your low 20s, Vince.
Not a bad condo overlooking Lauderdale, but he's a nice guy. I'm glad he's doing so well. Back to the felt, we got a couple folds. Kevin Eyster's going to raise with ace-10. Make it 110, and look at this. Jeff Madsen gonna get aggressive with a pair of ducks. He's gone all in. Ben out, Zoe folds. Kevin's gonna make this call.
Well, the snap call, that's what the problem is when you move all in against the chip leader with the low pair. They call you, because they got plenty of dough. And now, Jeff's in a race for his tournament life right here.
Whoa, Jeff Madsen started out with some nice chips, but now in trouble here, but it's a good flop for him. 2 4s and a 9.
As the cards lie. Kevin needs an ace 10 or a 9 to take the lead here.
Jeff Madsen with 2 World Series of Poker bracelets. A fine player. 3 of diamonds. Jeff looking good to double up now.
Well, second time Jeff's made a WPT final table this season. Just got to dodge an ace 10, 9, or a 3 to win this pot and double up.
Down to the river we go. Let's see what happens.
And a 10 comes off. A river card for Kevin Eyster to knock Jeff Madsen out of this tournament. And yet again, Vince, poor Jeff is a 6th place finisher.
Wasn't his night again on the World Poker Tour. He's going to take home $100,000. And right now, the very talented Jeff Madsen, the wild man, is over to talk to WPT Executive Tour Director Matt Savage.
Jeff, you never really got anything going tonight. How disappointing is this for you?
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I was just card dead and short, so nothing I could do. Frustrating. But, yeah.
It's another $100K to the bankroll. I mean, is that important to you now, or are you just thinking about, you know, trying to win one of these events?
I mean, it's all important, but I want to win, so just have to work and get back here again.
All right, well, I like that confidence. Amanda, back to you.
Busting out in 6th place for the 2nd time this season is Jeff Madsen. Plenty more action when we return to the final table of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Stick around.
Texas Hold'em takes just a few minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. That's why we created the WPT Poker Trainer that lets you work on your game anytime you want, from anywhere you want, on your iPhone or iPad. Download your copy today.
Welcome back to Season 11's coverage of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. This tournament could prove to be crucial in the race for WPT's Player of the Year. Going into this event, Matt Salzberg and Paul Volpe were in a tie. On day 3, Paul busted in 27th place, earning him 50 points, while Matt went out the next day in 13th place, earning him 150 points. This gives Matt a slight lead in the race, but with 2 WPT non-televised main events and the season-ending WPT World Championship still on the schedule, it's anyone's guess who will take down the Player of the Year honor. To learn more about how the Player of the Year points are determined, log on to WPT.com. In the meantime, let's get back to the action with Mike and Vince.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Kevin Eyster still out in front with $5.5 million. Came to the final table as chip leader. He's still there.
That is right, and now the antes and blinds are going up. Antes now 10,000, the blinds 30 and 60,000. Down to the table we go.
Action on Daniel Letts, the guy from Jamaica that got in this tournament on a $500 satellite. He is loving it right now, but folds this hand.
And so does Paul, and now the chip leader, Kevin Eyster, with an ace deuce. He's got the button. He's going to raise to 135. And Ben Tarzia, the tattoo shop owner, picks up a pair of 5s.
Well, let's see how he's going to play him. He knows this Kevin Eyster is a very aggressive player, could raise with any 2 cards, especially on the button, especially as chip leader. So do you re-raise with 2 5s? No, you just call with them.
Action now on Zoe. He's got an attractive ace-jack. He's in the big blind.
Well, Vince, he may 3-bet here. He knows Kevin could raise on the button with any 2 cards. The guy in the small blind didn't re-raise, so you know he's not that strong, and that's exactly what Zoe's doing. Actually like this play by Zoe.
Yep, he has re-popped Kevin out, and now it's back on Ben with the 5s. And he is content to just call it.
Gonna make the call. Look at a flop here.
So ace-jack versus 2 5s. Who's gonna get lucky? Oh, and it looks like it's Ben. 3 of a kind, 3 5s.
Dream flop for him, not just because he flopped 3 5s, but because his opponent flopped 2 aces, but it goes check, check on the flop. Oh. Wow, can't believe Zoe checked that. 7
of hearts on the turn. And Ben's got to be so excited. Show tune's going off in his head.
Well, he says the guy didn't bet on the flop. Maybe he's got a pair of 10s or jacks or something.
And, of course, Zoe going to call. Can't blame him. He has aces. Down to the river we go. 4 diamonds, 3 of a kind, looking so solid.
Ben saying to himself, look, the guy called me on the turn. Maybe he'll call me again on the river. I sure hope so.
He puts in 650.
Zoe Snap calls him on the river with the aces, but they're not good enough here.
Yep, that is a nice donation. Ben Tarzia out of Canada. Non-professional, of course. Taking down a very good one. He is hitting some cards tonight. He is playing deceptive poker.
Could have got expensive if I bet the flop.
Sorry?
So it could have got more expensive if I bet the flop.
He's married with 4 children.
You could have gotten a bit more trouble.
Certainly hitting a lot of good flops tonight, no doubt about it. Nice family man, was a suit for 20 years, a sales exec. Now one's a tattoo shop.
His cousin right there. His name is Rubens. I'm sure he gets free tattoos.
Yeah, I'm not 3-betting with nothing. You should know me by now. We played together long enough.
And same here.
I didn't learn. I just decided just to...
You just figured fire, fire, fire.
Oh, now he's lecturing him.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
He is racking up chips.
As long as it was fun when you did it.
This thing is wide open. To the table we go. Action on Paul, who's on the short stack now. He folds. Kevin Eyster.
Now going to stay aggressive. Raises here with the 10-7.
And Ben is going to slop around with a 9-6 of diamonds.
Why not? He's on a roll. It seems like he hits every flop he plays.
Zoe and Daniel out. So two-way action. 9-6 versus 10-7.
And here comes the flop. Ace 3-3, no help to either player. Wow, surprised Kevin wouldn't have made a continuation bet with that flop, but he doesn't. And it goes check, check.
King of diamonds on the turn. Still no help to either player. Kevin just checking again.
Well, Ben's saying, look, he's not going to bet at this pot. Maybe I will.
Ben does make a bet of 150,000. And Kevin has had enough of that. Doesn't want to tangle with Ben.
Well, a nice bet there by Ben to take down that pot.
Thanks, man.
Poker, to me, is the ultimate rush. It's the ultimate rush without putting a drug in your body. It's the ultimate adrenaline rush without risking your life. Instead of using swords like they did 500 years ago, we're using our chips. You're trying to take my life, I'm trying to take yours. I mean, as pleasant as we can be about it, it's all a battle to the death, right?
Well, he is so right. It is a great game. It is fun.
Well, it certainly is war on the green felt, Vince.
It is.
No doubt about it, but...
Look at Ben is out in second chip position with close to 4.7.
Yeah, he is doing great here.
What an effort.
Says he does it all for the wife and kids.
Let's take a look at his hand. He's picked up a pair of deuces here. Not bad. Blinds at 30 and 60, and he makes it 125. Zoe out. Daniel Letts also folding. Round to the short stack. Paul Duguzima. He backs poker players, a fine player himself, but he's going to fold.
125.
Well, Kevin Eyster, the ultra-aggressive player, just calls here with 2 5s.
So we have deuces versus 5s. And the flop's an ace, king, queen.
And that's a flop neither player going to like.
Certainly don't. Kevin checks, Ben checks. Both running scared. Here comes the turn.
8 on the turn. Again, Kevin checks. And look at this, Ben reaching for chips here. He's going to bet the 2 ducks, and they're going to quack, quack as Kevin goes away. So for the second pot in a row, Ben beats Kevin with the worst hand by betting.
Well, there's still 5 players left at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Stay with us.
Poker to me is, it gives you some freedom. It's like being a rebel. It's different from the real working world. You set your own hours. There's not really a hierarchy that you have to answer to, and you make your own rules, because I like dealing with everybody on the same level. I see everybody as the same. In a 9 to 5, there's a chain of command, and sometimes you have to bite your tongue. In poker, you don't bite your tongue. You say what you express yourself on the table. If the person is actually too arrogant or obnoxious, I'll let them know that.
Well, Daniel, a happy-go-lucky guy. Very happy to be at this final table because wherever he finishes, he's going to be a nice payday for him.
He's playing good poker as 5 players remain here at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Down to the felt we go. Action on Paul Duguzima. Businessman out of St. Petersburg, Florida, came in as the second chip leader. Now in the short stack, folds his hand.
Kevin Eyster going to raise it with a 7-5 offsuit here. And Ben on the button going to call with a 7-5 suited.
Zoe with a big ace-queen of diamonds, also just calling.
Wow, can't believe he wouldn't be raised with that hand.
And look at this, Daniel has picked up ace-jack.
He's going to call as well. So we're going to have four-way action in a raised pot in a five-handed poker game. Pretty amazing.
Yes, it is. Here come the first three. Let's take a look.
Now flop comes ace, king, 10. Zoe out in front with the two aces with the queen kicker. He's going to check. Daniel going to check his aces as well.
Eyster with nothing, wraps his finger. Ben.
Now Ben makes the elbow check. Don't see that very often.
That's a sign of weakness.
It's a check.
9 of clubs on the turn.
Well, Zoe thinking his aces are the best hand right now with the queen kicker, and in fact they are. This could spell trouble for Daniel here, because the way this hand was played, you're never going to put Zoe on an ace-king or ace-queen, in fact, because he didn't raise before the flop.
Right, Kevin and Ben definitely fold, so two-way action. They both have aces as we go to the river.
And they both have the ace-high straight draw. Now the 5 of diamonds comes off. Zoe contemplating what to do here. And look at this. It's $280,000 bet into a pot that has over $1 million in it. This is sort of what we call a blocker bet. It's a value bet, a blocker bet, all combined into one there.
There's Daniel's wife, Laura.
Well, the way this hand was played, Vince.
Yeah, he's going to call.
I think you have to call if you're Daniel in this spot. He just got out-kicked. Certainly can't fault him for calling there with the two aces. Zoe picking up a nice pot.
Yeah, against the local grinder, Daniel. Okay, and right now let's take a look at the WPT stack tracker.
Well, the stack tracker indicates the ebb and flow of the chip counts of these players at the final table. You can see Zoe started on the short stack. He's going way up. Daniel not getting much going. Ben gained a little bit, and Kevin, who came to the final table as chip leader, he dropped a little bit, but still in the chip lead.
Blinds at 30 and 60. Action on Paul. He is card dead lately. He folds his hand, and Kevin with a queen 10. And this guy is just relentless. He bets on anything, raises, and he's done it again. 135 to go. Ben out. Zoe out.
Back around to Daniel. He's going to make the call with the king 10.
All right, so Daniel has a shot. Daniel getting down there in chips, only 670 at the start of this hand. Flop comes up ace, 9-7.
Oh, look at that. Daniel just moving all in here with just king high, and he's going to win this pot.
Yes, very nicely done.
So Daniel could become the first Jamaican to ever win a WPT title. Stays alive.
Oh, boy, we're watching these guys in South Florida. Going after this title, this is fun.
Well, Vince, I'll tell you who also had fun this week. That was our ClubWPT.com qualifier, Carl Hutchins from Kentucky. He won his seat and expenses paid down here to Florida. Got to play in this tournament. Got to meet Scotty Wynn, one of his poker idols. Hung out with the Royal Flush girls. The guy had a great time this week.
He certainly did. And you know what? You too can have a great time on the World Poker Tour if you go to ClubWPT.com, become a member. You get to play all the poker you want. You get to win your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes. You also get the Entertainment Savers Guide. You get the WPT magazine. Also, you get to look at some videos, films of the World Poker Tour episodes. So if you want to study certain players, take a look. That really helps your game. And by the way, you don't just have to be on PC now. We're also on Mac computers, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be playing.
And who knows, you might win a seat to a WPT event just like Carl. ClubWPT.com, check it out.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. All right, back to the felt.
And once again, Kevin Eyster still our chip leader. Zoe Karim, his traveling roommate, in second place. The Canadian, Ben Tarzia, in third place. 5 players left fighting it out for this title.
First to act, Kevin, the chip leader. And look at this, with just a jack-4. Again, he's going to raise, makes it 120 to go. Ben out.
Vince, he raised with these junk hands under the gun in first position.
That's true. Now his roommate, Zoe, with the button, with just a Jack-10 offsuit.
Well, obviously, Zoe knows him better than anybody. Knows he raised with junk in first position, and he's going to re-raise him here with a Jack-10.
Wow, that's knowing your player. Daniel out.
Well, just shows you no love for roommates when you're at these final tables.
Paul can't possibly call this, and doesn't.
Oh, man. I peel like 95% of my hands I have right here. This isn't the lower five.
Well, Kevin gives it up and sort of smiling, but when he sees his roommate came over the top of him with a Jack-10 offsuit, he might be applying for new roommates. Who knows?
First place going to take home $660,000 here in Hollywood, Florida. There's the WPT Champions Cup. When you win a championship, your name gets inscribed on that beautiful trophy. We're at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Having a great time all week. 5 players remain. We started this play with 542 entries. We're down to these 5. Zoe going out of this hand, as does Daniel.
Yeah, round to Paul. He's on the button, but looks at the junk hand, doesn't have many chips. I'm sure just going to wait for a better spot.
Yep. And now Mr. Aggressive Kevin, this time has a decent hand, Jack-10 of diamonds. Doesn't know what to do with a good hand, but decides to raise. 140 to go. Ben with a decent ace-jack.
Ben's against this guy. This hand figures to be the best because Kevin raised with anything.
Tell you what, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me what he has tattooed on his elbow. What the heck is that?
Looks like a dice.
Paradise? I don't know. Could be a tree in a forest. Who knows? Anyway, he's called and the flop comes up 5-4 deuce.
Well, Kevin's going to check, and Ben checks right behind him. Didn't want to get check raised out of the pot, and 8 comes off. Well, Kevin checks, and Ben checks again, so we're going to the river. Well, now a 3 comes off. So Kevin, who raised pre-flop, is now going to try to represent. He's got an ace in his hand. Knows he's probably not going to win the pot with Jack high. He's going to bet out.
Yeah, 125 and a quick call by the man that has the real hand.
Ben has the 5 high straight, makes the call, takes down the pot. And even though Kevin didn't win that pot, I like his bet on the river there.
Jack-10 straight. He goes,
Jack-10 straight.
He goes 2, 3, 4, 5, Jack-10 straight.
2, 3, 4, 5, Jack.
Now on the other side of his arm there.
2, 3, 4, 5, Jack-10. It's straight.
I don't know.
Well, don't worry. In case he wins this tournament, you'll be seeing a WPT tattoo on that right arm, folks. I guarantee you that.
Well, Ben Tarzia, very impressive with his poker tonight from Canada. Boy, he's in 3rd chip position at this point. Okay, right back at him. Paul quickly folds. Kevin out. And now Ben with a queen, jack of clubs will raise.
Yeah, makes it 125,000 to go.
Zoe out.
There is.
And Daniel now with an ace-8.
Well, he's announced raise.
I'm all in.
But he's going all in here.
Can I get a count, please?
He's got nearly 800,000 in chips. Now, Ben can well afford to make this call.
Daniel's wife rooting him on.
Yeah. Put it in there. That's where we need it to go. Right in there. No.
Yeah.
And he's still going to have about $4 million, even if he makes the call and loses the pot. So,
WWJD.
because you have that many chips left, it does make this call a little bit easier, and he does make it.
A local grinder, Daniel Letts, out in front at this point as a favorite.
And the wife chewing the gum a lot faster right now. She knows her man's tournament life is on the line. He's out in front now. Can he stay there?
And the flop comes up Jack 8-5. Bad for Daniel.
Tough flop for Daniel. He's flopped a pair of 8s, but his opponent has flopped 2 jacks. He now needs an ace or an 8 to take the lead.
Wow, Ben just out-flopping Daniel there. Laura, a little disgusted. To the turn we go. It's a 7 of hearts.
We are down to the river. Daniel needs an ace or an 8. Otherwise, his tournament is going to be over.
Got this tournament through a $500 satellite. What an accomplishment for Daniel, but now he needs some luck, and he does not get it.
So tough luck right there for Daniel Letts. Great effort by him. Got in this tournament on a $500 satellite. He'll be cashing out $122,000. So he had a great week here, but tough beat there to get outdrawn and get knocked out.
Daniel Letts, man with half a haircut, can get the whole thing done now. He is out, and he's over to talk to WPT Executive Tour Director Matt Savage.
Daniel, $122,000 this week. Tell us a little bit about your experience this week.
Well, I enjoyed it very much, you know. At the end, I got it in good. That's what counts, and I got beat by Queen Jack against Ace-8, you know. It's poker. These things happen.
We had some great family support back there. Obviously, Laura's here, looking lovely. You know, you're a pretty lucky guy.
Yeah. As I always tell myself, if I do bad at poker, I always have something good to go home to.
And it looks like you're going to be able to get that other half a haircut this week.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Probably I should have done it earlier and changed one. Luck.
All right, congratulations again.
All right.
Back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Matt. Daniel Letts is out in 5th place. WPT's extended coverage of the final table here in South Florida continues right after this.
Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Welcome back to Hollywood, Florida and the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. The World Poker Tour is committed to building strong ties in their community through the WPT Foundation. The Seminole Hard Rock also takes community involvement seriously, but does it in a fun and exciting way. This week, while players were working hard to make it to the final table, across the room there was a group of players, including myself, Mike, Vince, and the Royal Flush Girls, found a charity game that was designed to be a little less stressful and a lot more fun.
I have fun. That's all I'm here to have good fun.
I'm going to talk some more trash to these other guys and wait till all the other NFL players get knocked out.
Playing horrible. Time to go home.
It's just like the Super Bowl. If you don't win at all, and you next to me at the end of the season,
you got me sweating over here, man.
Donation. My foundation is Catch 81 Foundation. My number was 81 when I played for the Miami Dolphins, and that's why I came up with Catch 81.
It's all for the kids. It's something for the kids.
What it does, it benefits kids in South Florida that are underprivileged, underserved.
The Seminole Hard Rock selected the O.J. McDuffie Foundation to support because we've watched the enthusiasm and engagement that he has done in our community for the children that he is involved with.
Great time. This is a fantastic event. It's a great cause.
Just made the best call we've seen in 11 years on the World Poker Tour. Right here by this guy right here.
I think it's the most important thing, starting with the children first. It's really important because they're our base. If you can get the kids at an early age and get them on the right path at an early age, I think they'll become productive members of society. And if we show them that we care, they'll be able to go out and achieve some of the goals that they set out for themselves.
We had so much fun being here and playing on behalf of WPT for the Catch 81 Foundation. Met so many great people, and it's always good to help out for a great cause.
We all had a great time for a very worthwhile cause. To learn more about WPT's charitable efforts, log on to WPTFoundation.org. The WPT Foundation, playing for a better world. Looks like action is starting back up, so I'll send it down to Mike and Vince.
By the way, Mike, I definitely did not trash talk any of the superstars from the NFL. I knew better.
Yeah. Well, Vince, you gotta love O.J. McDuffie and what he's doing for the kids around here in the Miami area. And you gotta love these other football players that come out to support this cause. What a great event it was the other night.
Four-handed poker continues here right now. Let's go to the felt. Quick raise by Kevin Eyster with a pair of fives. And right behind him, Ben with an ace-9.
And Ben is the chip leader now. Just took it over from Kevin Eyster.
Well, he has re-raised around the horn. DePaul's got a pair of fours, but he will fold it. So Ben has raised. Now Kevin with the fives. What will he do? Just calling.
Well, he re-raised because he knows Kevin can raise on any two cards, so just thought the ace-9 might be the best hand.
Oh, look at this flop. Three of a kind there for Kevin Eyster. 3 fives.
Well, great flop for Kevin. He coyly checks them. But Ben checks right behind him.
That's a good slowdown by Ben. Here comes the turn. It's a jack of spades.
Well, this gives Ben a nut flush draw, the ace-high flush draw. Kevin checks again. A nice check by Kevin here because he got his opponent to bite to bet that flush draw.
He's got the big 4 flush. He's betting 200,000.
Finally, the check raise coming in by Kevin makes it 630,000.
This could get very expensive for Ben.
Well, it's 430,000 more. Does make the call and hopes to catch the spade.
Down to the river. Can Ben get the spade? No. 3 of diamonds.
Well, Kevin's got a full house, 5 full of 3s.
Well, you don't want to run your man out by betting too much, perhaps. What can you extract?
Well, he's betting 1.1 million.
You win, Kev.
We know, of course, Ben has nothing, and he says, I give up.
He was hoping Ben had paired the jacks on the turn and might pay him off on the river. That didn't happen.
So the 23-year-old professional gambler out of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, always hope, always hope.
Taking this one down.
And with it, regains the chip lead.
Yeah, nicely done. You know, he's won over 2.5 million online, he says. But let's move on to this hand. A quick fold by Ben and Zoe. And now it's around to Paul.
Well, Paul's in desperado mode. All these other players got multi-millions in chips. He's got less than 500,000.
There you go. He's going all in.
And he moves him in right here with a Jack 9 offsuit. Can't blame him for doing it.
Okay.
Now Kevin's got ace high, and he's going to make this call. Very solid. Nicely done. He is out in front over Paul.
Well, as the cards lie, Kevin about a 3-2 favorite to eliminate Paul from this tournament. Let's see if the ace high holds up.
There ain't going to be any sweat this one. Ace pops on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ace pops on the flop.
Ace 3 versus Jack 9. Paul, first cash, first final table on the World Poker Tour. Can he get lucky here? Nope.
That's not a very good flop.
Off 10. I have a club, too.
Kevin Eyster loving that.
Very, very bad shape for Paul. He's got to catch 2 runners to win this pot, 2 runners to make a straight, or a running combination of 9s and jacks. That's not a club.
Oh, and it is a club. 10 of clubs. That's going to wrap it up for Paul.
Well, Paul gets up, knows it's over.
Zima, appreciate it, man.
So Paul Dugazima from St. Petersburg, Florida, out tonight in 4th place.
That is right. He'll take home $171,000, a fine player. And now he's over to talk to Matt Savage.
Paul, I saw you back here talking to a world-class player, Elio Fox. Did he tell you to go get it in there?
Yeah, he's trying to help me a little bit. I need some help in some spots, so he gives me the support when I need it and helps me with when I'm not sure about things, yeah.
You're used to putting players into these tournaments. What's easier, backing or playing?
It's much easier backing. You just give them money, let them go do their thing. When they come back, they tell you they won, they lost, and no stress. I mean, obviously we want them to do well, but I don't have to do anything after I hand them the money and they go off and do their own thing.
Well, I'm sure your players are going to be looking at your play and then telling you how you did.
Yeah.
Amanda, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. With Paul Dugazima out in 4th place, that brings us to the end of our 2nd hour of extended coverage here in Hollywood, Florida. So guys, it's no surprise that Kevin Eyster, who started this final table with the chip lead, is in the final 3. But what about Ben and Zoe?
Well, you're right, Amanda. No surprise about Kevin Eyster. Came to the final table as chip leader. Still the chip leader, expected to be there. The surprise, of course, to me is Zoe, the guy who came to this final table on the short stack in 6th place. He doubled up 3 times to stay alive in this tournament. Twice he outdrew his opponents. Vince, to me, that could be an omen that everything is falling in place for Zoe to win this tournament. Zoe won't go.
Yes, but what about the tattooed man, huh? Ben Tarzia is tough. He's been around this game for a long time. He can play poker. He can win this championship and break up these roommates' beautiful friendship.
Thank you, gentlemen. Please join us next time for the conclusion of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown here in Hollywood, Florida. Until then, for Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, Matt Savage, and the whole WPT team, I'm Amanda Leatherman. Thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight in Hollywood, Florida, the sun is set, but the poker action is still hot. And one player will add their name to the prestigious WPT Champions Cup. The conclusion of the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown starts now, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling
He needs the extreme miracle.
Welcome back to South Florida and the conclusion of WPT's Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. I'm Amanda Leatherman, sitting in for Kimberly Lansing. In the past 2 seasons, we've seen Taylor Von Kriegenberg and Tommy Vitas add their names to the WPT Champions Cup in this arena. Tonight, we guarantee you'll see another player earn this great poker honor. As always, we're joined by WPT's own poker experts, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten. Mike, these players must be so excited to have made it this far in the tournament.
Well, I'm sure they're very excited, Amanda, to be there. It's come down to the 2 youngest players at the table versus the oldest player at the table, 1 amateur versus 2 young pros. Certainly no surprise, Kevin Eyster is the chip leader. When he came to this final table, he's still the chip leader with 3 left. But I think the other 2 guys are really very, very happy to be here. Certainly Zoe, who started this final table in dead last place. He tripled up 3 times, outdrew his opponent twice to double up along the way. He is feeling great to be alive. And I think the amateur player, the businessman, the guy that owns a tattoo shop, is just thrilled to be in the mix with 3 players left.
And Vince, do you think there's a clear favorite at this point to win?
You know, I think I'm going to give the nod to Kevin Eyster. He's the chip leader. He's playing excellent poker, very composed. But on top of that, you know, he's lost his glasses this week, and he's using only 1 contact now. He couldn't get both for some reason. So he can't see out of 1 eye, he told us. So he's like one-eyed Eyster right now. But that's good at the poker table because you can't see what you're doing and you just push the chips in. I'm giving him the edge.
Thanks, guys. We've gotten word that the action at this final table is ready to continue. Cards are about to fly, so let's get down to the felt.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Kevin Eyster out in front with 6.8 million. Ben Tarzia in second place with 5 million. And Zoe in third place with about 4.4 million. Anybody's game.
That's right. The winner's going to take home $660,000 here tonight in Hollywood, Florida. And the antes are 10,000. The blinds are 40 and 80. Here we go. Action on our chip leader, Kevin Eyster.
Well, Kevin been by far the most aggressive player at the final table, at least pre-flop, that's for sure.
Well, he's made it 160 to go. Ben out. But Zoe Karim, with the little suited connector, is going to make this call.
Now, these guys are roommates on the road when they travel to poker tournaments. They room together as they are here. And they're both still left battling it out for this title. But it shows you, roommate or not, these guys are playing to try to win the title. Forget about love and roommates right now.
Well, the flop comes up 8-4-3, open-ended for Zoe, and he has bet it.
Yeah, but look at this. Kevin has made the call with no hand and no draw. It's what we call a float bet. He is going to try to win this pot the first time his opponent checks.
King of diamonds on the turn.
But look at this. Zoe is not checking the open-end straight draw. He is firing again.
Certainly is.
Well, Kevin gives it up. You know, that's the problem with the float bet. When your opponent keeps betting at you, it doesn't work.
You're trying to float, but you sink.
Wow, did you get there with the king and then just hero fold?
No, that'd be real sick.
That would be terrible.
Right now, you can take a look at the WPT stack tracker.
Yeah, that indicates the ebb and flow of the chip counts of all the players at this final table. As you can see, Kevin has been pretty steady. He came to the final table as a chip leader. He's still the chip leader. Zoe's the guy that's made the big jump, as you can see. Started on the short stack, and now he's made a big move. Ben been pretty steady, up and down a little bit, but the stack tracker indicates where they've been up and down at this final table.
All right. Onto this hand, Kevin, with a 6-5, going to make it 160. Ben out. Zoe Karim with a king-9 will play with his buddy.
Well, the roommates not shy about playing against each other, that's for sure. Flop queen, jack, 4. Zoe's got a gut shot straight draw. He's going to check.
And Kevin with absolute zip and pip will make the continuation bet. You got to respect it. 130.
Just got a 6-high here. And Zoe's going to make the call.
Zoe would love to hit his 10 and punish his friend. But no, it's another jack. So no dough for Zoe. He checks.
Kevin reaching for chips again. He knows it's the only way he can win the pot. And he's certainly not just going to give it up. He fights for it. He does make the bet. Now, when the guy looks like that, Vince, no chance he's calling you.
Pretty sure I have the best hand still.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You do have the best hand, Zoe, but it's tough to call when a guy fires yet another shell at that pot.
So the young gambler from Lafayette, Louisiana, extends the chip lead. There's the Royal Flush Girls Social Bar.
Yeah, and there's our club qualifier, Carl Hutchins, sitting right there with the girls.
Yeah, he won his way on ClubWPT.com. Played in the tournament. He's having a great time. But let's get back to this hand. Action on Eyster, this time with a king-queen, makes it 160. Ben Tarzia, the tattoo shop owner, will make this call.
Got the 7-4 diamonds. Well, now Zoe knows Kevin could raise on the button with any two cards. The guy in the small blind didn't re-raise it, so he can't be that strong. So look at this. Zoe is going to make the 3-bet here. I like this play by Zoe. He 3-bets it with the ace-9 offsuit up to 460,000. But Kevin quickly calls with the king-queen, and look at this. Ben's coming along for the ride, hoping to hit a good flop here. This is a 3-bet flop, folks, and all three players are in it.
Big investment, and the flop comes up queen, 10-7. That's good for Eyster, hitting queens.
Well, Ben's got bottom pair with 2 7s and checks. Zoe is going to also check.
You got to figure Kevin's going to bet, but no, he doesn't. He checks.
I'm in shock. He checked that hand. Just too many straight possibilities out there, and there's one of them that could give somebody a straight, a 9.
Check.
Well, Ben's going to check the 7s, and now Zoe, who's made a pair of 9s on the turn, thinking they might be good here, doesn't want to give somebody a straight draw in case they got a jack in their hand, for example.
He's betting 385, and the man with the top pair, Kevin Eyster, will make this call. Ben flies away.
Zoe looking back, make sure he's got his pair. He better get some help if he wants to win this pot.
Down to the river we go.
Well, a 6 comes off. Now that's a 4-card straight on the board now. And Zoe, worried his opponent might have an 8 in his hand, checks. And look at this.
500,000.
One-eyed Eyster going to try to put in a value bet with all those possibilities out there. Pretty incredible.
Well, it really is. I mean, what can a guy pay you off with where he can't be 2 queens? 2 9s might be one of those hands.
It's $500,000, and he's been called.
Well, just incredible. Zoe pays him off with the 2 9s, so Kevin knows what he's doing. I'll tell you, these roommates know each other's game, Vince. I can tell you that.
I'm so bad for even calling there. It's like you either have that or ace-jack, and not many combos.
Wow, very impressive by the young Kevin Eyster, who says that one of his eyes he can't even see out of today because his contact lens was lost, but maybe that's helping him.
You wonder if he saw that 4-card straight on the board, man.
180.
All right, on to this hand. Quick fold by Ben, and Zoe is raised to 180. Been called by Kevin with king 3. Here we go.
Well, flop comes 10-9-3. No help for Zoe. As you can see, Kevin's flop bottom pair. Zoe's going to check. And Kevin comes from that Amarillo Slim school of poker. They're a check, and I'm a betting.
Well, he's got a little pair of 3s, little piece of it, and he is betting it.
He's got the best hand. That's why he's betting.
Sure.
Of course, he bets when he doesn't have the best hand, too, but...
Zoe's called it. There's the one-eyed problem. Hasn't been much of a problem tonight. Another heart on the turn, king of hearts.
Gives Zoe the ace-high flush draw, the nut flush draw, and he's reaching for chips and going to bet. But as you can see, it gives Kevin top and bottom pair. So he's got 2 pair. Now there's a 3-card flush and a 3-card straight on the board. So Kevin going to play it a little careful, just calls, doesn't re-raise here with the 2 pair.
330,000 down to the river. Ace of clubs on the river.
Well, now Zoe might think he has the best hand. I would. You'd have thought your opponent would have raised if he had 2 pair or better. That didn't happen. So Zoe going to try to get a value bet in here for 480,000. A snap call by Kevin with 2 pair. Zoe proudly displays the aces, but they're not good enough as Kevin has 2 pair.
Just incredible. Kevin against his roommate. Someone sleeping on the cot tonight. Stay with us. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
People don't play real poker on social poker sites because there's nothing to win. On ClubWPT.com, we play real poker for our share of $100,000 in real cash and prizes each month. It's real poker for real players. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
My eyes give a lot of stuff away, so it's the one thing I learned, so I just keep sunglasses on. I actually had some Oakleys going into this, but those and my regular prescription glasses, along with my shoes, were all in this bag that I got stolen earlier this week. So I no longer can see, and I had to go buy some cheap glasses. I have one contact now. I actually started with 2 and lost 1 mid-tournament, so now I got my left one. I'm not wearing it right now, but I will when we play. And I just close one eye and I can see the flop.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. 3 players remain.
Well, one-eyed poker is working, Vince. The guy's got a monster chip lead, as you can see, over 10 million in chips. More than twice as many chips as the other 2 put together, just about. Pretty incredible stuff for a guy that says he can't see. Maybe you're better off you can't see the flops and stuff. Just fire.
Well, action's on him. This time he has ace high. He makes it 160 to go. Now Ben behind him with a pair of jacks. But he's just going to call.
Incredible. He does not re-raise with the jacks.
And so going out. Could this be a big mistake by Ben? We will see. And look at this flop for Kevin Eyster.
How good is this guy running? He flops us straight here. This could spell doom for Ben, the Canadian.
Ben checks the over pair. And Eyster bets. Going to come out and bet 140. Oh, man, and Ben has got the over pair, but just calling.
Yeah, does not check raise here like I thought he would with that flop.
Here comes the turn.
Well, now a queen comes out. That's an overcard. So Ben not going to like that. He's going to check. And here we go. Kevin betting again. And Ben calling again.
Down to the river.
When a king comes off. Well, Ben checks again, but that card could save him money. He'll be afraid that Kevin hit a king or a queen here to beat his jacks.
Look at this. Kevin betting 800,000.
Well, he's all choked up here right now, but those last 2 cards could save his life, literally, in this tournament. I mean, after that flop, it looked like there was no way he wasn't going broke with 2 jacks here.
This would be a nice laydown at this point, and looks like he's...
You win, kid.
Gotta do the right thing. Let's it go.
Well, he does lay it down, but I'm still wowed. He has chips left with 2 jacks there.
I'll tell you something, Mike. We are watching great action again in South Florida. It always is good at the Seminole Hard Rock, isn't it?
Oh, you're right, Vince. And just watching these players duke it out and fight with roommates and all the rest just makes you want to get in the game.
I'll tell you something, everyone else feels the same way. Many people practice their game, and they really enjoy the poker that's being played on ClubWPT.com. And it's also available on both PC and Mac. Now, personally, I love the great virtual items you can share with your friends while you play.
You know what else they can enjoy on ClubWPT.com? They enjoy a lot of benefits. They get access to old WPT episodes, copies of WPT poker magazines.
And you can also win your share of $100,000 in cash and prizes. Like Carl Hutchins in Northern Kentucky, he won the seat to this event. He had a great time.
Well, Carl is proof that you don't have to spend a fortune to have a great poker experience. ClubWPT.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
All right, back to the table we go. And the antes are now 15,000, Mike. Blinds are 50 and 100. Here we go.
Well, action's on Ben. He's on the button. And looks down at a 10-9 offsuit, but he sees these guys raising every time on the button, so he's going to do it too.
225. Zoe goes out. Kevin Eyster, though, with a pretty solid ace-9 of spades, making this call.
Here comes the flop. Well, Jack 3 deuce. Kevin's going to check, and here comes a continuation bet by Ben with just 10 high. 250,000. Now Kevin makes the call with the ace high.
Turn card, deuce of diamonds.
And board pairs deuces again. Kevin checks. And Ben firing a second shell at this pot with no hand, no draw, no nothing. And what a call by Kevin here. Calling him because he thinks the ace high might be the best hand. In fact, it is.
And the last card is a 5 of diamonds, and Ben just gives up, checks it.
If a guy's good enough to call me on the turn, he'll call me on the river. I'm going to save my chips.
Best hand.
But how about those calls by Kevin there to take down that pot?
Very strong.
Vince, all this guy's doing is stacking chips here. This has just been a one-man band here in this three-handed battle.
Swap life. Swap life.
And his roommate Zoe saying something I don't understand, but looks fun.
It's Swamp Life. The guy's from Louisiana, so...
Oh, that's what he was saying.
Maybe that's his time, Vince.
Okay.
You know, he's a Cajun. That's what they do down there. They get in the swamps.
2 roommates in a great position to take back all the money here tonight at the Hard Rock. But with this hand, Zoe quickly folds.
Kevin's finally got a real hand here. I'm sure he's going to raise with this. He's raised with all the junk hands.
Sure does. Makes it 250 to go. Ben behind him.
I'm all in.
Okay.
Says all in. Quick call by Kevin.
Well, you can't blame Ben for going all in here.
Kevin's got ace-jack against ace-8. I folded king-8.
90% of the time tonight, that ace-high would have been the best hand against this Kevin. Now, Ben's got to get very lucky to win this pot. And remember, Zoe folded a king-8, so one of his outs is gone.
Well, I think Ben's thinking back saying, I should have pushed the jacks. I probably would have won. Little does he know. But here comes the flop. It's a queen, 3-4. That's not good for Ben Tarzia.
Ben's going to have to catch an 8 to win this pot. Nothing else is going to do it. They would split the pot if the board paired twice.
Here comes the turn. Ooh, it's a 10.
Well, we are down to the river. Ben Tarzia from Maple, Ontario, Canada, must catch an 8 on the river to stay alive in this tournament.
Pair the board.
One more, man.
Pair the board.
Looks like the ink has dried for the tattooed shop owner.
And remember, Zoe threw an 8 away, so things are looking very bad for the Canadian.
Yeah,
An 8! Oh, my golly!
Yeah!
A snowman on the river melts away some chips of Kevin Eyster there. Wow, the crowd stunned at the river card that came up for Ben there.
We need it.
That was my favorite hand growing up. Ace-8. This really goes because I folded king-8.
Our third hour of coverage from WPT's Seminole Hard Rock Showdown in Hollywood, Florida is just getting started, and we have a lot more to come. Tony Dunst has been gearing up to give his 2 cents in the raw deal, and we'll watch the Royal Flush girls slide into action here in sunny Florida. It's coming up. Don't go away.
The WPT Foundation is dedicated to supporting great charities around the world. Now, you can help the WPT Foundation raise money for some great global causes. Check out all the incredible prizes, trips, and VIP experiences available through our online auctions at WPTFoundation.org.
Welcome back to our extended coverage of the final table of the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. Our Tony Dunst has been watching from the sidelines and is ready to pipe in with some thoughts in this edition of The Raw Deal.
It's common to bet the flop as a bluff, with the intention of following through with more barrels on later streets. Yet sometimes the board falls in such a way that you have to pull out of those bluffs. And nothing makes a bluffer second guess like the board pairing. But are there situations where the board pairs and you should keep firing? Let's break it down. First, we watch Kevin Eyster get the best of Zoe Karim when he raises the button with 6-5 offsuit and makes a continuation bet on a flop of 4 queen jack. Zoe makes the call in the big blind with his gut shot and overcard. The turn is the jack of diamonds, and when Zoe checks, Kevin follows through with a half pot bet that gets Zoe to fold.
Pretty sure I had the best hand still.
Kevin wins. Then we watch Ben Tarzia raise the button with 10-9 and get a call from Kevin Eyster in the big blind with ace-9. Kevin doesn't hit the flop and checks, but casually calls a bet from Ben on the jack deuce 3 flop. The turn brings the deuce of diamonds, and when Kevin checks, Ben follows through with a second bet that's 30% pot. Kevin makes the call, again with just ace high. When the river comes a 5, both players check, and Kevin wins with ace high. Now, here's the difference between those two bluffs. In the first hand, Kevin bets on a turn that he can more plausibly represent, as he would likely raise the button with most hands containing a jack. He knows much of Zoe's range contains draws, which all decreased in value with the board pairing. Now, in the hand where Ben bets the turn with his 10 high against Kevin, he does it on a deuce, which is hard to represent since most hands containing a deuce fold pre-flop. Beyond the unlikely deuce, the uncoordinated flop texture makes it far more likely that Kevin is calling with showdown value instead of a draw. So it's probable that Kevin will continue calling with that showdown value when the turn doesn't change the texture of the board. Particularly with the price Ben gave Kevin with his small bet, he was never going to get a fold from ace high, while a bet of double that size might have worked. So when you bluff the flop and the turn pairs the board, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to attempt the old pull-out method. But it does mean you should reconsider whether that card really changes the texture and affects your opponent's hand. And in the event a deuce pairs a deuce, it's probably a check. I don't even have to see the rest of the hand to know that.
Well, we know it's important to bet size properly when you're bluffing.
Tony Dunst nailing it again, but we're back to the table. 3 players remain. Kevin Eyster, the 23-year-old out of Louisiana, the chip leader. And the blinds are 50 and 100,000. Action on Zoe Karim.
Yeah, looks down at the king nine of diamonds. Not a bad hand on the button in a three-handed game. So Zoe reaching for raising chips.
Yep, he makes it 200,000 to go. Kevin out.
And Ben with the 6-4 of hearts gonna make the call.
Ben Tarzia, good friends with Daniel Negreanu, another Canadian. And look at this, he's hit three of a kind.
Just a great flop for Ben right there. He checks. Here comes the spider in the web.
Zoe bets 125. Ben with a huge hand, gonna try to trap, just calling.
Oh. Another 6 comes off. Quads for the Canadian.
Yep, he checks again. Zoe looks up and looks at him and says, I'm slowing down. I'm not betting for you.
Zoe knows his opponent could have had a straight draw. Now there's no hand he can beat. Doesn't matter what he had. When he called on the flop, he knows that. He quickly gets out of his pot when his opponent bets here. But
Such a bad river for me. Calling on so many others.
The only hand he could have possibly beat was a gut shot straight draw on the flop. But when the 8 paired, he made the straight.
Nice time.
Made the full house.
It was.
Made something that beat him.
Well, Mike, we have truly been enjoying the poker here at the final table of the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. But season 11 of the World Poker Tour has been going full gear all around the world.
Well, that's right, Vince. And since we last saw our viewers, a great non-televised WPT main event took place in Spain at Casino Barcelona. Congratulations to Xuan Liu, who took the title at WPT Barcelona.
That's right, and that's not all. Season 11 is action-packed, as you know, with both WPT regional events and WPT national events.
These WPT caliber tournaments offer accessible buy-ins worthy of the WPT name. Overseas WPT nationals were held at Casino Marbella in Spain, Le Croisette Casino in Cannes, France, and down in Johannesburg, South Africa, Sean Gavender won the Emperor's Palace Poker Championship. Congratulations to all our winners, and to find out more about upcoming WPT events, log on to WPT.com.
Now back to the action at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida.
Well, there you see the chip count. Kevin Eyster well out in front with about 9.8 million. Ben Tarzia in second place with 3.6 million, and Zoe Karim in third place with 2.8 million.
Zoe Karim out of Orlando, Florida. First to act, quickly folds his hand, but behind him, one-eyed Eyster with an ace-queen.
Well, Kevin now picking up some cards. He was winning pots without cards earlier. Now he's getting some.
Yeah, makes it 250 to go. Ben with a little suited connector. Will speculate, makes this call.
Oh, nice flop for Kevin. Ace, Jack, 8. He's flopped top pair. His opponent's flopped bottom pair.
And Kevin will make the continuation bet with the goods. 250,000. Ben doesn't believe him.
Well, Ben gonna make the call here with the 2 8s.
4th Street will be a 7. 2 pair for Ben.
Dream card for Ben right there. Well, Kevin's checking in case his opponent might have had a 9-10 also.
Well, Ben is gonna bet at $500,000.
Well, I don't see Kevin going anywhere with aces and a queen kicker here.
He's making his call like he should. River card will be...
A 10 comes off, so a 4-card straight on the board, and it goes check, check here. Kevin shows the aces, not good enough as Ben tables the 2 pair.
So the tattoo shop owner, Ben Tarzia, winning back a good one.
Could it be an omen for Ben to take this title? We'll see. Stay with us. We'll be back with more exciting action on the World Poker Tour right after this. Season 11 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
The pool here at Seminole Hard Rock is really awesome.
The pool has a really tropical feel to it. It has a huge waterfall, a big slide, and just very beautiful.
When we do our shoots, we do some together, which is us just, laughing and being ourselves and, what we do pretty much all the time. And then we have our individual solo shots. And mine was kind of laying back in the pool with my hair in the water, looking all fab. And some of the girls were crawling in the sand, getting all dirty. And some girls were climbing rocks and getting all sporty. So there's a little bit of everything.
On the first day of our photo shoot by the poolside, the weather wasn't so kind to us. It held up for the first few hours, and afterwards it decided to just pour down. So we made the most of it. We did like a little rain dance out there and just got a little wet.
Welcome back to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino and the World Poker Tour.
Well, the pool's just one of the great facilities here at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. And Vince, I gotta say, the girls sure look good in the pool.
Well, we've been having a great time all week long, but let's get back down to the felt. Zoe Karim with a nice hand, ace-queen.
Gonna raise it on the button here to 210,000. Kevin out, and Ben with the king-queen is gonna call.
Heads up, going to the ball.
Blinds of 50 and 100. And the flop is an ace-king-jack.
Just a great flop for Zoe. Both players have an ace-high straight draw. Ben's got kings, Zoe's got aces, and he's betting.
But a quick call by Ben. This could be trouble for Ben. 5 of spades on the turn.
Well, Ben checks again. So, reaching for betting chips one more time. 380,000 is the bet. Look at this. Ben gonna throw it away and show it to him, Vince, which is gonna upset Zoe even more.
You were dead to another king.
Dead to a king, he said.
How do you fold the turn there?
How do I fold the turn?
Yeah. Like you're supposed to call and give me at least 375 more.
All right, a great hand for Zoe Karim. Now remember, Zoe started this final table as the short stack, and remarkably, he still survives with just 3 players to go.
Yeah, Zoe's success at tonight's event reminds me of what we saw poker pro Tommy Vitas accomplish last season here at the Seminole Hard Rock. At the time, it was something that only Phil Locke and Alex Gomez have achieved in WPT history. Tommy's story is the best of Season 10 moment. The final table of the Season 10 Seminole Hard Rock Showdown started with poker pro Joe Sirach in the chip lead with 3.1 million, and Tommy Vitas with a short stack of a little less than 600,000.
He's not cooking breakfast here, so there's no short stack. Doesn't help him. That's what he is.
I'm all in.
Oh. Early action saw Tommy double through Kyle Bowker.
Kyle hanging in there.
Which eventually led to Kyle's demise in 6th place. Then Tommy faced off with local high-stakes grinder Sharon Levin. Tommy first makes a great call on the river to increase his stack.
Sharon Levin sickened by that.
On the very next hand, Tommy finished the job with pocket 6s.
Cool.
Sending Sharon to the rail in 5th place while sending Tommy up the leaderboard. Soon after, pro Craig Bergeron shoved with pocket 6s. As Tommy woke up with queens. The pair of ladies held up, knocking Craig out of the tournament.
The very dapper Craig Bergeron out in 4th place.
And moving the once short stack Tommy into 2nd chip position. Next, it was Joe Sirach, who hit the rail in 3rd place, putting Tommy heads up to fight for the title. John Dolan started the heads-up match with the advantage in chips, but Tommy had no intention of giving up.
I won't get a heads-up, by the way.
Tommy quickly doubled up when he flopped a flush.
Can't beat that defense.
And when they both hit top pair, while Tommy held the better kicker, he doubled up yet again.
Now he's our chip leader. Just incredible.
The final hand of the night would prove exciting.
Go.
As Tommy had an ace-10, and he called John's all-in, who held king-6, making him a 2-to-1 dog. The flop would give John 2 pair, putting him way out in front. But Tommy had outs. Tommy has a straight draw. A queen would give him an ace-high straight.
Wow.
A queen on the turn makes Broadway for Tommy. With a brick on the river, Tommy Vitas became the champion.
It really is unbelievable. Tommy Vitas, who entered this final table with the shortest stack, is leaving tonight with his 2nd WPT title.
A great feat and easily the best comeback of Season 10. You know, Vince, Tommy's win here last season gave him his 2nd WPT title, and since then, we've seen one more player make the jump from 6th place to 1st. That was Ravi Raghavan, who took his first WPT title when he won the 5-Diamond World Poker Classic earlier this year at Bellagio.
Well, it is definitely a rare feat, but not impossible. And actually, we could see it happen again here tonight with Zoe Karim. 3 players left. The cards are back in play. Let's get down to the felt.
Well, Ben's got the Jack-8 offsuit. Going to raise on the button. Makes it 210,000 to go.
Zoe Karim with a quick fold, but Kevin's going to call with an ace-4, and the flop comes up Jack-10-6.
Oh, nice flop for Ben. He's flop top pair here. And he is going to bet $250,000 here after Kevin checks.
Kevin hitting none of that. But look at this. He's going to get creative, powering through with a raise.
Check raising to 700,000. Now Ben's got top pair. Doesn't have a great kicker, but...
All right, kid, you win.
He's going to fold 2 jacks here. Now, his opponent didn't re-raise before the flop, so you know he doesn't have aces, kings, or queens. Even an ace-jack he would raise with. I am shocked Ben folded that hand, Vince, to an aggressive player like Kevin Eyster.
I think that's the first mistake Ben has realistically made. He's made a lot of great moves tonight. Very shrewd that he's still around.
Let me tell you another mistake he makes, Vince. He makes a mistake by showing these guys those hands. He showed a king-queen a minute ago.
Yep.
He showed this hand here that he laid it down. He showed the 2 jacks when he lost that pot where he never re-raised it earlier. You just can't show those hands to these aggressive players. They'll run over you. I can't imagine how many cards he's going to have to catch to win this tournament if he keeps showing them those kind of hands.
Well, look at this. Pair of aces for Zoe in the very next hand. After a quick fold by Ben, now Zoe will make it 215,000 and pray that he gets action from his roommate, Kevin, who has a pretty decent king-queen, who's going over the top.
He's getting action, all right. He's getting 3-bet, up to 485,000.
Look at this grimacing. It's the show tunes going off in Zoe's head, yet he's acting.
Well, Vince, he wants to make a raise where his opponent can't really afford to lay his hand down, meaning he's not going to make a large raise here because he doesn't want Kevin to go anywhere.
You would think sometimes a guy wants to just play it a little slower, disguise it, and just call.
Yeah, he could just call.
But he's not going to. He's going to make the nice little gentle raise, as we like to say.
He's raising 330,000 here with $1 million in the pot. Just a brilliant play by him in my mind. And Kevin calls it.
He's got the fish hooked, and we're going to flop it.
Oh, he could really be hooked now, Vince.
Yep.
As it comes king 5-3. Kevin is flop top pair, but Zoe has the only overpair of the 2 aces that's got him beat.
Oh, and he's going to massage a bet of 685,000 into his roommate buddy. Insta call, of course, by Kevin. And we're going to the turn. This could get very expensive. This could be a great double up for Zoe. Let's see.
10 of spade comes off.
That is perfect for Zoe. Everything working out just fine.
All in.
All in.
He's going all in here, fearful his opponent might have a diamond draw.
I'll call. Whoa, boy. He gets a quick call.
Well, he's hoping he had the kings. That's exactly the case. And with 1 card to go, Kevin must catch a king or a queen to win this pot. Zoe knows he'll take the chip lead after starting out in 6th place if his aces hold up here. Wow. What a spot for Zoe.
They made queens. It's just what they made.
Big moment for Zoe. Big chance to double up. But if the miracle should be pulled off by Kevin, if he hits a king or queen, Zoe would be out in 3rd place. Unlikely to happen, but you never know.
A queen. Unbelievable. Wow. Zoe gets 2 aces. He played the hand perfectly. He got outdrawn on the river.
I called it, brother. I called your 8 and I called your queen.
Zoe finally goes, but Vince had to crack 2 aces to get him out of here. Tough luck for Zoe right there. He'll be our 3rd place finisher, and he'll be thinking about that hand for a long time, Vince.
Devastating defeat there. What a river card. Zoe will take home $252,000. He's got to be a little depressed as he walks over to Matt Savage, our WPT Executive Tournament Director.
So a tough way to go. Starting off with aces and losing that hand has to be very tough. But you lost it to your friend. Now, how does that change the dynamic with you playing against your friend?
I really don't think it changed it too much. I mean, we're both playing to win, so we know that. I mean, this is just a game. We're going to be friends off the field regardless, so it's just how it goes.
You can hang around, sweat, Kevin?
Happen. Of course.
All right, congratulations. Amanda, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. With Zoe Karim out in 3rd place, we're now heads up with Kevin Eyster and Ben Tarzia, getting ready to battle for the title. Heads Up Action, brought to you by ClubWPT.com, is next.
Unbelievable. What is going on here tonight? What are we seeing here?
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by Vegas.com. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right. As is the custom on the World Poker Tour, when we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money!
And right now, the beautiful Royal Flush Girls are bringing out the cold, hard cash here at the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown. That is Tuba and Ivy. And of course, Angelique and Danielle.
Well, over $1 million they're putting on the table. That's what these two guys are going to take home between them. Big payday and an opportunity for each of these guys to win their first WPT title.
And put their name on the Champions Cup right there. We started with 542 players. We are down to these two very gifted and talented players. One's a so-called amateur, the other a young guy from Lafayette, Louisiana, a professional poker player, 23 years old, Kevin Eyster.
Heads-up action here at the WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown is about to get underway between Kevin Eyster and Ben Tarzia. During the break, Matt Savage had a chance to speak with both players.
Ben, you said you were a winner already by just making the final table. Now you're one step away from $660,000 and putting your name on the Champions Cup. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I'm hoping destiny's on my side.
We say you're playing for your family, and I'm sure they're very proud of you right now. Your 4 friends, your kids have to be extremely happy that you're in this spot. Are you playing for them?
Absolutely, man. It's more for them than it is for me. All my sons, my 3 sons, are sitting there by the computer, and I just spoke to them now. And I couldn't hear a word they're saying because they're screaming so loud. So it's a good feeling.
Well, that's awesome. One more step to go. Maybe you put your name right on that cup.
I sure as hell hope so.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, does this feel like some kind of validation for you? You have a lot of online wins, but this is your first chance to put your name on the Championships Cup of the World Poker Tour. I mean, is it something you've looked forward to in your career?
Yeah, I mean, growing up watching it on the TV and just seeing a lot of familiar faces winning over and over, you know, I always wanted to be one of those guys. So now I have a shot, 1 out of 2 shot to do it. So.
Well, now you're heads up with the chip lead. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The WPT Champions Cup is primed for a new edition. So let's get back to the call of the game with Mike and Vince.
Well, there you see the chip counts as we start out heads-up play. Kevin Eyster with over 13 million in chips. Ben Tarzia with just over 3 million in chips, so a healthy chip lead by the youngster Kevin Eyster.
All right, Andy's at 20,000, Mike. Blind 60, 120. Here we go. Action on Ben. He's got the button. He's got 9-10. He's going to get aggressive and raise. Makes it 250 to go. But right behind him, one-eyed Eyster. He lost his contact lens. So he says he's only seeing out of one eye. He's got ace-queen.
Well, he sees enough to re-raise right here. Makes it 650,000 to go. Ben quickly goes out, so Kevin extends his chip lead.
Yep, Kevin, out of Lafayette, Louisiana, only 23 years old, with a chance of a lifetime to be a champion on the WPT. On to the second hand of heads-up action. Kevin this time with a nothing hand, just a 5-10. Will raise, makes it 240 to go.
Come on.
Wow, Ben moving all in here with a queen-jack. I mean, Kevin has a junk hand. He's got to throw it away, of course. But what a bold play by Ben. I think he realizes he's going to have to play big pots against this guy to beat him. He's not going to beat him playing small ball.
He is bringing out the pins and needles and tattooing his man with just queen high. Super aggressive.
Just incredible. Ben says he was a suit for 20 years, a sales executive. He got rid of that lifestyle, opened up a tattoo shop, loves his life, has 4 kids, loves the family.
Where is it?
And loves playing poker.
Well, he's got ace-deuce this time. He's making it 260 to go. Kevin behind him with a call. King-9. We're going to see a flop. Ace-deuce versus King-9, and the flop is a Jack-10-3.
Kevin's got a gut shot straight draw, and look at this. He's leading right into the pre-flop raiser, Vince.
Kevin bets.
280,000. And
Ben throwing his hand away, so a nice bet there by Kevin to take down that pot.
Well, one-eyed Eyster certainly can't see because he didn't have much there. Bets nevertheless, and he will take this one down.
Well, he has been aggressive and overly aggressive all night long, and it certainly paid off for him.
Look at this. An ace just like that, and a 10 of clubs. Big hand for Kevin. He's going to raise. Makes it 240 to go. Into Ben. Has a pair of sevens.
240,000.
I'm all in.
Gonna ship it here. I don't blame him. I'd do the same thing.
I call.
And there he does it.
I think you have to call in this spot with this chip count, no doubt about it. We got a race situation. Kevin wins the race. He'll be our champion. If Ben wins it, he'll be a force to be reckoned with, perhaps.
And there is Ben's cousin.
Ace 10 of clubs, yeah.
Well, in my mind, this is a great thing for Ben to get in a race situation where he can double up and have substantial chips if he wins the pot. Still won't have the chip lead, but be right in the thick of things.
All right. 5 cards to come. Can Ben Tarzia get lucky?
Ace right on the flop.
Ace 5 deuce. The ace hits one-eyed Eyster. He's out in front with aces.
But Ben has a flush draw. So if a heart comes up, Ben would make a flush and win this pot. He needs a 7 or a heart to stay alive in the tournament.
Turn card coming up. Can he hit his heart? No, it's a 5 of clubs.
So Ben must catch a 7 or a heart to stay alive in this tournament. Otherwise, Kevin Eyster will be our champion.
Heart.
Can Eyster do it?
And the river card. It is a 10 of
A 10 comes off, aces and 10s for Kevin Eyster. Well, the Cajun takes it down. Kevin Eyster, with his first WPT title, came to the final table as chip leader, took home the trophy.
Hugs and tears at this final table as Kevin is the champ.
You got the better hand going in, bro.
That's it?
That's all you can do.
Can't do any better than that. A bridesmaid again.
A good sport, our runner-up.
Whoa, that's pretty
Look,
tight.
man. Look, man.
I didn't stare at it too
Look,
hard
man.
yet.
Kevin Eyster, a 23-year-old, is the WPT champion. And right now, our runner-up is talking to Matt Savage.
Well, Ben, unfortunately, you didn't get to add your name to that Champions Cup, but I do feel like there's 2 winners here tonight. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I couldn't be more pleased with the results. He's a great player. I'm just happy to be here and happy to have a chance to play with these guys. So, you know, it's nothing's lost. Believe me, nothing's lost here.
Well, I'm sure you did your family proud tonight. Mike, over to you.
We're with the Seminole Hard Rock Showdown champion, Kevin Eyster. Congratulations. We salute you on your victory. You came to the final table as chip leader. Did you have a strategy coming to this final table as to how you wanted to play?
No, I just figured I'd see how people were playing back and just work from there and just wing it from there, so.
Well, certainly, obviously, the one key hand for you, you got lucky to make kings and queens on the river against Zoe. But other than that, you were in total control all night long at this final table. Vince and I thought you played fantastic. You're a well-deserving champion. Congratulations. In addition to all the money that you're going to make, your name is now going to be inscribed forever on this WPT Champions Cup. Congratulations. We'll see you at the WPT World Championship. Amanda, back to you.
Congratulations to Kevin Eyster, the Season 11 WPT Seminole Hard Rock Showdown champion. Kimberly Lansing will be back next time as we travel to Bellagio in Las Vegas for the 100,000 buy-in WPT World Championship Super High Roller. For Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, the Royal Flush Girls, and the whole WPT team, I'm Amanda Leatherman. Thanks for watching. Good night.
I don't understand what this is for here. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In Las Vegas, the epicenter of high-stakes poker is pushing the game to astonishing levels as a group of elite players risk a whopping $100,000 in a quest to earn over $1 million. Tonight, it's the Super High Roller, and it's only on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing.
He is circling the drain.
They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring.
He would love to knock this loudmouth out.
Oh! Wow! Unbelievable!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Las Vegas. I'm Kimberly Lansing. For the past 11 seasons, the WPT has covered some of the best and richest poker tournaments right here at Bellagio. And while there's always risk and reward in poker, nothing compares to the nosebleed stakes associated with the WPT Super High Roller, where the price to play is $100,000. Last season, poker pro Thomas Marchese took that massive risk and won the first fully televised WPT Super High Roller event. This season, Thomas was just one of the brave players who walked into the Bellagio poker room ready to pony up the $100K.
100K is a ton of money for everybody, so everyone wants to only play if the field's decent, in that it's like pretty big and that it's also just has some like recreational play.